being one of the main focuses is going to really expand his offensive repertoire. So I think this team is in a very, very good situation. You got Kyle Rose, who is known to be a decent shooter. Antrell Charlton is more of your defensive first point guard. However, he's a guy that can go off for 15, 20 points on any given night if he has the hot hand. This team, I think, is in a very, very good situation right now because a lot of the main cast of characters from last year, obviously you lose Chuba, you lose Antonio Day.
Cologne Navarro,
yeah. But I still feel like the guys with the most promise on last year's team are right back here. You got Darius Quisenberry back. You bring Kyle Rose back. You got Rostick, who I still think has a very big potential to have a breakout season. Same thing with Abdus and Billa. Both of them down low, I think, are guys that can average, that 12 to maybe even 15, 16 points a game. It's just what are you going to get out of each guys on different night? Because like you mentioned, it felt pedestrian at times because it was really inconsistent. They would have games where they'd put up, 70, 80, 90 points, and then they'd have games where they put up 40, maybe get to that 50 mark. But this team, I do think they're really, really bought into what Coach Urgo is preaching, and I think they're going to be outpacing a lot of teams this year.
Well, I will echo this word that I know is used so much now, especially when we're talking about not only just in sports, but in corporate America and business. Culture is by far and at foremost the first thing you need to build if you want a successful anything, right? There needs to be a quota. There needs to be an environment where all of your employees and your players can go, where they feel they can succeed and they're caring for everybody else. They're helping each other up, and you work towards a greater good. But let's talk about the matchup really quickly about this Dartmouth Big Green team. They had a very strange season last year. They were atrocious in their out-of-conference schedule. I mean, they were 3-9 going into the Ivy League, and then they go 6-5 in the Ivy. They just miss out on a tournament spot in their conference. But this year, they have to replace 4 of the top scorers that are gone. The top 4 guys are gone. So that is going to be a huge task for the David McLaughlin-led Big Green this year. But it poses a favorable matchup for Fordham because the inexperience in college basketball will be outweighed most of the time by the experience. And Fordham has a ton of that on their side tonight. So we're going to be watching very closely for that, as well as some of the new X's and O's that Keith Urgo is going to try and implement. Now, he said months ago, and he's been echoing this as well, that they're not going to change too much other than the fact that they want to maybe run a little bit more, and that could be a nice way to boast their, again, very blah offense last year. That could maybe add, I don't know, I want to say, we'll go with around 8 points per game to the team's total, but that in all likelihood, Danny, could make a huge, huge difference for this Fordham team.
Yeah, especially when you're playing against a fairly inexperienced group that Dartmouth is, a whole lot of sophomores and a few freshmen on this team. They do have, a good cast of upper-class characters. However, like you mentioned, losing a lot of their main guys. So if you're Fordham going into this one, it's really going to be apply pressure early. I think if I had to personally guess what Coach Urgo is going to do is he's going to come out in that full-court press off the bat and really, really go for it and try to get up so early that it just feels impossible for Dartmouth to get back into this game. Well, I think this team has been really, really pushing the tempo this year in practice and stuff from what I've heard, from what I've potentially seen a little bit of. But I think this team is going to get out and run early and play that full court press and really kind of demoralize what Dartmouth is going to be able to do on the court.
Well, we'll see if you're right, Danny. Opening night for the Fordham Rams versus the Dartmouth Big Green. There's nothing better than the opening night of college basketball. I mean, let's be honest. This is one of the best nights of the year. But now we're going to throw it to the coach's sound. Keith Urgo spoke to our guys about the game plan against Dartmouth.
Sam Davis and Ryan Gregware here with Fordham basketball head coach Keith Urgo. Coach, after summer workouts, foreign tour, scrimmages over the last couple weeks, how does it feel knowing the season is finally here?
You know what? I cannot tell you how excited I think our staff, as much as our players, are just to kind of get going. The last month here, we finally got into a routine. Our guys have been working their tails off, and I think everybody's just excited to get some fans in the building and start this thing off right. And playing against someone else other than ourselves, which we've been doing since June 1st, is something I think everybody's just kind of chomping at the bit for.
This team last year reached the quarterfinals of the A-10 tournament for the first time since 2007. How do you envision this group carrying that momentum from last year into this season?
Yeah, it's a totally different team, obviously, but we have some of those guys back who I think have taken some serious steps forward in their leadership. And raise the standard of the program, which they're excited about, we're excited about. But, it's a totally different locker room. We got a lot of young guys as well. If we can stay healthy and remain connected, which we've been, and our older guys have done a tremendous job keeping that locker room, the chemistry in that locker room really tight, we feel really good about things. For us, it's just trying to be the best team we can be by the end of the year. And today we'll just try to get 1% better, and then tomorrow night, we want to go out and we want to play hard and together, not perfect. And if that means we beat Dartmouth, then that means we beat Dartmouth. But our goal is every single day to get better, and by the end of the year, like we were last year, to be the best team we can be.
Looking at that matchup against Dartmouth, what challenges do they present overall as a team?
You know what? They shoot 50% of their shots are from three. So any team that comes in here is very dangerous that can shoot like that. If you let them start getting things off and they start making a couple early and they take the crowd out of it and we get a little tight, that they can be extremely dangerous. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we communicate, not get too excited because of obviously the first game and the first home game. We just have to continue to stay the course, play for 40 minutes. The key for us is not giving up a ton of threes, but also taking care of the basketball. If we have an opportunity to get shots and go to the boards, we have a great size advantage, great athletic advantage. I think we'll do pretty well. Turnovers, allowing them to get out and transition, that could present a problem for us. If we get a chance to set up in our half-court defense, we feel really good about the way we are able to switch 1 through 5 and mix some things in. We feel pretty good.
That is Fordham head coach Keith Urgo. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
College basketball is back at the Rose Hill Gym as the Fordham Rams take on the Dartmouth Big Green on WFUV Sports. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Sam Davis here with Ryan Gregware. Ryan, Fordham comes off a season where they reached the A-10 quarterfinals for the first time since 2007, followed by an offseason that saw Kyle Neptune become the head coach of Villanova and a new head coach, Keith Urgo, taking over at Fordham. Overall, what are your expectations heading into tonight, the season opener for the Rams?
Well, Sam, first off, it's great to be with you. First time we've done a game together. This gym, Rose Hill, it's great to be back here at home. Student section really showed out today. But to your question, the Keith Urgo era, getting things started for Fordham. You heard in that coach's sound, it's about getting better every day. And this season, it's going to start with Dartmouth here tonight.
Fordham last season 16-16 on the year. It was a 14-win improvement from the season before. The 44th best defense in the NCAA. That's the best in Fordham history. Meanwhile, the offense for the Rams, they were second to last in the A-10 in scoring, just 66.1 points per game. Coach Urgo, we talked to him throughout the year about how he wants to keep that defensive intensity, but on the offensive side of the ball, he wants to push it in transition.
One thing you couldn't say about last year's team was they weren't well coached. They were really tough. Urgo being the associate head coach on that staff, a lot of credit goes to him. You've heard a lot of players talk about it was 1A and 1B. Now he's the 1A, and that's an emphasis that they're really going to look at. You look at how they attacked this recruiting class, a lot of athletic, young freshmen, exciting energy that we'll see in pushing the basketball, a key and emphasis for this team.
Meanwhile, for Dartmouth, the top 3 scorers all graduated, so a different environment this year. Some young guys getting some opportunities. A competitive environment is what head coach Dave McLaughlin said heading into this year. And something that Dartmouth does really well is they don't foul, they don't turn the ball over, they don't hurt themselves. They're very good at the free throw line as well. They can be dangerous shooting the 3, but overall for Fordham today, they're going to have to beat Dartmouth. Dartmouth isn't going to beat themselves.
That's what made Dartmouth a tough opponent. Make no mistake, you look at them last year, 5th in the Ivy League, but 3rd fewest turnovers in the country, 4th fewest fouls in the country. So this is a group, they're well coached, they're disciplined. Now they don't have the experience that perhaps Fordham has, and that's where you could really see the Rams attack Dartmouth on that side of the basketball.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups about 3 minutes before tip-off here, and we'll start with the visiting Dartmouth College Big Green, looking at the forwards. Kate Haskins, number 2, the sophomore out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, played just one game last year, so kind of an emphasis there on some of the younger guys for Dartmouth getting experience early. Dusan Neskovic, the junior forward, number 3, part of the Bosnian national team last year. Ryan Cornish, number 10, the guard, played in 18 games last year, 7.3 points per game. He's going to look to take another step for the Big Green this year. Romeo Myrtle, number 20, the sophomore guard, played in 18 games, also a member of the Swedish national team. And finally, rounding out the starting 5, Dame Adelican, the captain of this group, number 32, the senior forward, 10.6 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 3 double-doubles in Ivy League play. Took an extra step at the end of last season, and Coach McLaughlin hopes that he's going to take another step this year. Ryan, overall, looking at Dartmouth, who stands out for you?
Ryan Cornish is a guy I want to look at, and it might be untraditional because Adela Kuhn, he's the leading scorer returning from this game, but Cornish, Urgo's a guy, he raved about him. He said he's legit A10 level guard if he wanted to make that jump. This is the first year he's really going to have the offense go through him, so he's a guy at the shooting guard position Fordham has to command a lot of attention to.
And meanwhile, for the Rams, let's take a look at their starting lineup, starting with the guards. Number 3, it all starts with him, Darius Quisenberry, the leader for this Fordham Rams team, was a preseason All-A10 selection, had 16.2 points per game this past year. That was second on the team, the transfer from Youngstown State. You have Kyle Rose, the guard, number 10, a junior last season, second on the team in three-pointers, so a three-point threat for the Rams. Antrell Charlton, number 24, the junior guard. He's going to round out the guard unit for the Rams. Played in every single game last year for them. Led the team in assists and steals. Meanwhile, the forwards, it's Abdou Simbila, big number 30, 6'9", 245 from Cameroon. And the transfer, number 2, the graduate forward, Khalid Moore from Georgia Tech. And Ryan, real quick here, looking at Fordham's starting lineup, who stands out?
Darius Quisenberry, he's the guy for this team, 16 plus points per game last year. It's hard to, even expect improvement from that, but he's the leader in this locker room. Make no mistake, the team's going to go through him on offense, on defense, on both sides of the ball. He's the leader of this group, so Fordham will succeed as he goes.
And Dartmouth, let's take a look at their jerseys here, wearing black and black jerseys, black shorts, and green numbers and letters on the back. Meanwhile, the Fordham Rams in their classic home whites, home jerseys, white jerseys on the top and white shorts with maroon lettering and maroon numbering, as both teams head towards the bench. And just about 15 seconds before the buzzer sounds, and we're ready for basketball at the Rose Hill Gym. And Ryan, very quickly, what are your thoughts overall on this game? What's maybe a key to the game for Fordham and for Dartmouth?
Stopping the 3. If Fordham stops the 3, they have the athletes to push the ball in transition after getting the rebound, bring it up the court. Dartmouth, you're in every game if you can shoot. We know they take 50% of the shots behind the arc. So you stop that. If you're Fordham, you feel good about your chances. Fordham
University Rams getting ready for the home opener and the season opener here at the Rose Hill Gym. Ryan, overall, just an exciting time for basketball in Fordham. We have a packed student section here, which is awesome. Always a great sign to see as they announce the starting lineups here. And that is something that I'm sure Keith Urgo, we talked to him. I asked him if he was maybe a little nervous heading into his first head coaching appearance. He said obviously nerves are part of it, but overall this group just really, really excited to get out there and play basketball.
At the end of the day, Sam, wins and losses dictate what you're going to do, but the culture that he's building, I think that's going to be a theme we talk about throughout the season, because Urgo, he wants to be at Fordham. He doesn't want to just coach. He wants to change, transform what Fordham basketball is. You see the student section, clearly that's rubbed off on them. Excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, the Fordham University Rams bring a certain energy, and that is led by head coach Keith Urgo. And looking at some of the assistants for the Rams, Trey Woodall, the associate head coach, Dave Paulson, the assistant head coach, and Ronald Ramon rounding out the coaching staff for the Rams, who have all been here. And this is not their first year for anybody, including Coach Urgo, his second year with Fordham, but he's had, plenty of time put in, whether it be at Penn State, Villanova, some big-time programs, but now finally getting the shot at the head coaching position now for Fordham.
Dave Paulson, you brought him up, more of an advisory role last year. Now he's officially on the staff. What he brings to this team, Sam, head coaching experience. Previously coached at George Mason, and when you have a young staff, Coach Urgo, first-time head coach, it's key to have that experience in your coaching staff.
And Fordham is 82-20 in home openers all time. They've also won 3 of their last 4 season openers for the Rams. And looking at this roster as a whole, a definite balance between 7 true freshmen, so definitely a young team, but that's also mixed with a lot of experience and a lot of guys, and that's something Coach Urgo talked to us about being really important, that ability to have that balance between some young guys that can get minutes, but also some veterans that can kind of coach up this team, be a leader to this team. Darius Quisenberry especially stood out as the leader of this group.
Early in the season, when you're mixing and matching with the rotation, you got to see what works. But when you get into A-10 play, when you get later into the year, it's huge to have this depth. Fordham last year was really missing that. You saw Andrew Charlton, Darius Quisenberry playing 35-plus minutes a night. One of the areas Coach Urgo talked about was they want to bring that down 20-25 minutes at max because they feel they're 10, 11, if not 12 guys deep on this basketball team.
And the fact that they're 12 deep suits them well for the fact that they're going to push the ball in transition today, Ryan. Expect a lot of runs. Expect me maybe talking over you a little bit just because of how fast that Fordham will be playing. And the Rams are in their huddle, getting ready to get underway here from the Rose Hill Gym. It's a very interesting series history between these two. Started in 1927. Fordham's won the last 4 matchups, but overall it's tied at 5. And the Rams have not played Dartmouth since 1977. So a long time coming for these two teams as they're just about ready to break the huddle and get underway. 20 minutes on the clock here at the Rose Hill Gym as we prepare for the first half of basketball in the 2022-23 season for Fordham. They do break their huddle now, as does Dartmouth. Like we mentioned, head coach of Dartmouth, Kevin McLaughlin, his 7th year with the team. Previously coached at Northeastern. He's the all-time wins leader at Stonehill College. As Keith Urgo is embracing his players, getting ready for game 1, and he was so excited talking to us, getting ready for this matchup. You could tell he was ready. It looked like he was ready to get out there and play with how excited he was.
He really wants it, Sam. That's been apparent all throughout the coaching serve. Obviously, some unexpected situations with Kyle Neptune leaving a bit abruptly, but Urgo, he stepped up. He wanted this job. He fought for it. He got it, and he's so pumped up to be the head coach of the Rams.
And obviously, a roller coaster offseason, if you put it, for Fordham, between Kyle Neptune leaving for Villanova after a very successful first season, but Fordham electing to stay in-house with Keith Urgo. And we will see how the Rams open up this 2022 season. Both teams are out, and we are just about ready for tip-off. Abdu Simbila will go up against Dame Adelican for Dartmouth. Fordham is going to move right to left. They win the tip. Charlton has it. Charlton quickly underneath to Simbila. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Dartmouth possession.
Yeah, not the start Fordham's looking for. You saw that play a ton last year. It said it was true, but OAM's on the receiving end. 21 double-doubles. He's obviously the biggest departure for the team, and Abdu Simbila will have a tough task replacing him.
Fordham will look to fill that 5 spot as a kick ball in the backfield. Fordham opens up with some press here. That's Khalid Moore getting a foot to it. And Dartmouth will inbound on the baseline once again. 1952, just a couple seconds into this one. And Fordham opening up with some press. As it looks like it'll be Neskovic inbounding on the baseline for Dartmouth. Neskovic passes it in to Cornish. Cornish back to Neskovic. And a stoppage in play here as Charlton claps his hands. So maybe Dartmouth facing the pressure here, but it looks like it could be some sort of clock issue as the referees head towards the scorer's table to try and sort this one out. It's like they're teasing us here. We just got a couple seconds of basketball in 2022, and now we have our first stoppage here as the referees huddle around the scorer's table, now discuss things with each other. Right, I'm not exactly sure what this is about. They now break things up, and it looks like now they'll inbound on the sideline. It's going to be Neskovic again. He's got Cornish in the backcourt. Cornish takes it, pump fakes, looking to get it over half court and does. Now he's quickly doubled, passes it, and it's intercepted. Charlton got a hand over it. Rose quickly, Quisenberry, left arc 3 off the front rim. Rebounded there by Quisenberry. Quisenberry swings it to Moore. Moore drives to the basket, puts it up. Offensive foul. The crowd erupted here like Fordham had their first basket of 2022. Instead, it's an offensive foul.
And they wanted that to go their way. Fordham bringing a ton of energy early in this game, bringing pressure in the backcourt, pushing it as we talked about in transition, but unable to get the call to go their way.
And Cornish has it again. Neskovic back to Cornish. Cornish swings it across. Here's Cade Haskins. He's got a right arc three. That one's good. Nothing but net for Cade Haskins, and Dartmouth is on the board first. Quickly the other way, Charlton for the Rams. He's got it over midcourt, hands it off to Quisenberry. Quisenberry bounce pass to Kyle Rose, holds it at his hip. Here's Khalid Moore in the near corner. Between the legs move, drives to the basket, misses the layup. And Cornish will grab the rebound for Dartmouth. Cornish is going to push it for the Big Green. He stops, passes it to Cade Haskins, right back to Cornish. Ryan Cornish, the sophomore guard, calling out the plays, bounce pass to Adelican. Adelican hands it right back to Cornish. Swung into the corner, Myrtle. Down to the right block and slammed home by Adelican. 5-0 Dartmouth. 18:30 to go in the first half. Charlton the other way. Hands it off to Quisenberry. Here's Kyle Rose at the top of the perimeter. Now Quisenberry off a screen from Simbilla. Simbilla grabs it. Works towards the baseline. Guarded by Adelican on the right block. Puts up the layup. No good. Rebounded by Neskovic. Dartmouth pushing it the other way, intercepted, and a foul will be called. Looked like Kyle Rose tried to get his hand in the way of the passing lane there, but a foul goes against him.
Both teams, they're coming out of the gate, Sam, ready to go. This time off clearly benefited both teams, really putting a ton of energy on this game. Fordham, they've had some good looks under the basket, but have been unable to get the ball in the hoop thus far.
Cade Haskins will inbound on the sideline right next to us here. Passes it into Adelican at the top of the perimeter. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle, Neskovic off a screen, straight on three. That one's good. Dartmouth can shoot the three ball, and they're showing it here. 2 quick threes early. They go up 8-0.
This is exactly what Coach Urgo and the Rams, they knew this was coming. This isn't a surprise. Dartmouth loves a three-point shot. A great off-ball screen there to set up Neskovic to hit the shot.
18-10 in the first half. And Rostik Nowitzki's at the scorer's table. It looks like he's going to try and check in. But a stoppage in play here. 8-0, Dartmouth in the lead, and Neskovic there came off a screen, had an open three. Both threes for Dartmouth relatively open, and they were able to cash in.
Neskovic last season 1 for 10 from behind the arc. How about starting 1 for 1, already matching last year's total?
Dusan Neskovic, the junior, like I mentioned earlier, part of the Bosnian national team, a number of international players for Dartmouth. And Ryan, what is Keith Urgo telling his team in the huddle right here, trying to get on the board in 2022?
It's way too early to switch up the game plan here. Pushing the basketball still has to be a priority. The shots haven't gone down, but on the defensive end, staying true to what you know is going to come. They're going to shoot threes. They're going to set up guys, find ways to get that open shot, getting back from transition on the offensive side of the ball, setting up your defense. It's too early to change anything up, Sam, here in this one. Dartmouth
quickly breaks the huddle. They don't have much to talk about. They're up 8-0 here, but Fordham will take a little bit more time as they now work their way back onto the court. And Khalid Moore will inbound on the baseline underneath his basket. Fordham moving right to left, with Dartmouth moving left to right. And Antrell Charlton will grab it and quickly take it over half court, hands it off to Quisenberry. The Rams swinging it around the perimeter. Rose, here's Nowitzki. And Quisenberry drops it down to Nowitzki. Nowitzki, extended right block, swings it around. Here's Rose on the left wing. Rose drives to the basket, puts up the layup, no good. And a lid on the basket right now for the Rams. Still 8-0, they trail. Cornish quickly the other way, a floater, and it rolls in. Ryan Cornish, it's 10-0 Dartmouth. 17:30 in the first half. Charlton will drive quickly baseline. Pump fakes, puts up the layup, and he's got the first points of the 2022 season.
And that's a big shot for Fordham. Get on the board here. It's way too early to change up what you're doing. Antrell Charlton bringing some energy.
And Kyle Rose almost got the steal, but Dartmouth's able to get it over. Cornish swings it to the corner. Haskins. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle has it tipped away and stolen. Kyle Rose the other way with Quisenberry. Passes to Quisenberry. It's blocked, but Khalid Moore can finish off for Fordham, 10-4.
Really good job by Khalid Moore staying with the play. Quisenberry blocked off the backboard. He's right there to corral it and put in the offensive rebound.
Dartmouth breaks the press. Cade Haskins has it at the right wing. Myrtle will have it now near the Fordham logo. He's going to slow things down a little. Here's Neskovic. Bounce pass to Cornish. Cornish has it, guarded by Charlton. Drives all the way to the basket, has it poked away. It's going to stay. Possession will remain with Dartmouth.
Ryan Cornish, he's getting to paint with ease in this one. We know he can do it from behind the arc, but he's someone with that driving ability, more balanced than you would expect with that 6'3" frame. A lot of attention needs to be put on Cornish here tonight.
Ryan Cornish has struggled last season turning the ball over as a freshman, had 26 turnovers, just 11 assists. As Isaiah Robinson checked into the game, he's going to inbound on the baseline, gets it in. Haskins takes a deep three off the front rim, no good. And Quisenberry will just let that one roll out of bounds. 10-4, Dartmouth in the lead.
That's a look Fordham will live with. A deep three there early in the shot clock. Haskins was feeling himself from that first one. That one, no good.
Antrell Charlton bringing up the ball. A very good ball handler. Often carries up the ball for the Rams as they run around the perimeter. Here's Khalid Moore in the left arc. Now Rose. Rose pump fakes a three. Khalid Moore in the corner for three. No good. Had an open look. Couldn't get it to go. Neskovic grabs the rebound. Ryan Cornish the other way for Dartmouth. And checked into the game is Jackson Monroe, the freshman. He's got it. Monroe is fouled. And it looks like Nowitzki will pick up the foul there. His first as he checks into the game. 10-4 Dartmouth in the lead, 16-13 in the first half. And now Keith Urgo will go to the bench. It's going to be Ramad Dean, the freshman. He'll come into the game for Khalid Moore. As it looks like Monroe will inbound underneath his basket on the baseline. Monroe, the freshman from Wilmette, Illinois. And now some more subs getting in. It's going to be Jackson Bloffel, one of the captains of this Dartmouth team, a vocal leader of the team, said head coach Dave McLaughlin. As Monroe's waiting to inbound on the baseline, lobs it into Robinson. Now Neskovic back to Robinson on the left arc. Robinson looks to drive towards the baseline. Good defense from Rose. Swings it to Blofeld. He's got a straight on three. Off the side rim, no good. Soaring in for the rebound is Ramad Dean. He's fouled. Fordham will take possession.
Nice start to his Fordham career, bringing some energy. Off to mention Fordham, that defensive set a lot more prepared. They're switching guys left and right, contest on that three and forcing a missed shot.
16-0-1 in the first half. 10-4 Dartmouth leading Fordham. Charlton takes it over half court and hands it off to Quisenberry. Bounce pass to Nowitzki at the top of the perimeter. Nowitzki, here's Rose. Rose on the left arc. Here's Ramad Dean. Charlton pump fakes. He's going to drive in the lane, kicks it out, and it'll be a three-pointer for Rose. It's good. Kyle Rose rattles that one home, and Fordham is within three, 10-7, under 16 in the first half. Here's Neskovic. Dribbling in his left hand now, Cornish has it. Cornish off a screen from Monroe. And the switch for the Rams. So Nowitzki's on Cornish. Cornish looks to take advantage. Swing. Here's Isaiah Robinson, right arc three. That's an air ball. But Cornish grabs the miss. He's blocked. Puts it up again. Can't get it to go. Quisenberry grabs the rebound. 15 minutes to go in the first half. Darius Quisenberry. He's going to take a left arc three. That one's good. Darius Quisenberry ties the game at 10.
It was a matter of time before he got going. That three, quick shot, quick release. Quisenberry ties this one up.
Fordham right back into this game. As Jackson Monroe swings it to Neskovic. Neskovic holds it over his head. Now he drives, and it's blocked. Quisenberry got a hand on it, out of bounds. And that will lead us to our first break. 14:48 to go in the first half. This one is tied at 10. Stay with us for more Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Colin Loughran.
And I'm Tyler Mooney.
And we're your two main hosts for WFUV Sports NHL podcast 5 on 3.
Here on 5 on 3, we will talk everything Rangers, Islanders, and Devils.
We'll have all the news from around the NHL and keep you updated on the chase for the Stanley Cup.
Alongside Colin and I, Chris Hennessy, Samantha Bohr, and Thomas Quigley help us out as hosts.
You can find 5 on 3 wherever you get your podcasts. Home ice for all things NHL, 5 on 3.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, 10-10 our score, 14:48 to go in the first half. Ryan, Fordham going out to an 8-0 deficit early, but able to quickly battle back in the game.
Stayed true to what they are on the defensive side of the ball and let that to the offense. They pushed it in transition. Quisenberry able to tie things up at 10 with a 3 in transition. We've talked about, Sam, one of the areas this team wants to improve on, get a rebound and go up the court. Coach Urgo believes 1 through 4, everybody's capable of doing that, and we're seeing that so far in this one.
Yeah, Urgo talked about the flexibility, able to play guys kind of 1 through 5, and having those athletes, like you said, Ryan, it allows them to not just get the board, but be able to push it quickly in transition. You don't have to wait for a guard. If you're a 5, you don't have to wait for a guard to pass to. You can take the ball up yourself. That's what Fordham was able to do in the later stages there before the media timeout, and that's what allowed them to get back in this game.
And hitting their shots, too. 2 for 4 from the three-point line, something very rare we saw in last year's group, under 30% last year. So if they're able to hit those shots more consistently, it's a great sign of things to come.
Darius Quisenberry has 1 3 earlier on, as does Kyle Rose in a 10-10 game. Fordham started off 0 for 4, but since then they've been able to tie it up as the Dartmouth Big Green are back onto the court with some more subs into the game. It's going to be Jaden Williams, the freshman, in. So Dartmouth getting their freshmen some work in early here. We expected that after their top 3 scorers left last season. So a younger group, a different group, and Coach Urgo talked about how that was almost dangerous because they didn't have a lot of tape on Dartmouth. They're seeing some of these young guys here. As they'll be ready to inbound, it's going to be Monroe. He lobs a pass in. It's caught by Myrtle. Here's Neskovic. Back to Myrtle. Myrtle swings it. Here's Monroe. Holds the ball over his head at the top of the perimeter. Monroe passes to Jaden Williams. Swings it to the corner. Neskovic, open 3. That one's good. And Ryan, you can't allow those open shots. He hits one there.
Really good set, crossing guys across the court and getting a wide open 3.
And Charlton will have it for the Rams over half court. Hands it off to Will Richardson into the game, the freshman. Highly touted recruit. Hands it off. Here's Quisenberry. Drives to the basket. Spins off, no good. It's loose out of bounds. It's going to stay possession with Fordham.
Again, Fordham getting a good look to the basket, driving to the hole, an area you look at in this one, but again, like we've seen so far, unable to finish the basket.
Ryan, that's about the 3rd layup that we've seen kind of rim out so far early on. You expect Fordham's luck to change as Ramad Dean will inbound on the baseline, passes it in to his fellow freshman, Will Richardson. Back down into the post. Dean puts it up. He's fouled. Ramad Dean will head to the free throw line for 2.
No fear in Dean right there. He's willing to go up with 2 guys on him, 6'7", 210. He's someone that this team believes Fordham fans, they'll fall in love with his energy he brings to the court.
Ramad Dean from the Bahamas, the freshman forward, 6'7", 210, like you mentioned, Ryan. And that's something that the Rams have with a lot of their freshmen and their team as a whole, a lot of athletes. And that's what we're seeing early on as Dean will head to the free throw line for 2, looking for his first collegiate points. The first free throw is up. It's off the back rim, no good. He'll have 1 more. Some subs coming in for Dartmouth. It's going to be Brandon Mitchell-Day into the game, in addition to Dame Adelican back in, one of the captains for this group, as Dean will have 1 more. Squats, puts it up, and gets it in. And Ramad Dean on the board, 11-13 our score. Fordham trails by 2. They open up with some press here once again. Brandon Mitchell-Day has it, picks up his dribble, bounce pass to Robinson. Robinson swings it to Williams, who's over the half-court line for Dartmouth. And that one's thrown right into the hands of Richardson, but he's unable to grab it. And a stoppage in play here. Not sure what exactly this is for. Almost a turnover there for Dartmouth, but they'll keep possession. Referees towards the scorer's table. Maybe an issue with the game clock. But whatever it is, they've fixed it as Jaden Williams will inbound on the sideline. Passes it in to Adelican. Adelican, here's Robinson. Isaiah Robinson, the junior guard. He's going to drive towards the basket. Kicks it out Adelican. Off the right block. Adelican working on Nowitzki. Puts up the layup and gets it in. Dame Adelican, impressive physicality there, is able to get the floater to go. Charlton passes it to Will Richardson. Richardson has the ball, dribbling in his right hand, bounce pass to Nowitzki. Nowitzki pivots, he's going to look to drive, has it poked away, the ball's loose. Ramad Dean is able to pick it up on the right block, he puts it up, off the side of the rim, no good. And It's loose out of bounds, and Dartmouth will take possession.
Fordham playing very loose with the basketball on that possession. You see they bring the double on Rossi Nowitzki. That's something he struggled with a lot last year. Ramad Dean was trying to be in the right place at the right time, but unable to get the basketball to go Fordham's way.
Coach Keith Urgo emphasized limiting turnovers as Jaden Williams will take a three in stride off the backboard, not even close, rebounded by Quisenberry. Quisenberry pushing it for Fordham. Passes to Charlton. He looks around, takes a three, and it's good. Antrell Charlton for three, and Fordham's within one.
Initially looking to pass that ball, I think he was surprised how open he was, ripping it from the top of the key and hitting it for Fordham.
Antrell Charlton, not necessarily your scoring option, but did lead the team in assists and steals last year. As Isaiah Robinson dribbles, passes it, swings it to the far side. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle now into the corner, Adelican. Adelican through the legs dribble, spin move on Nowitzki. Pump fakes, puts it up, and gets it in again. Adelican taking advantage of his matchup right now with Nowitzki. That's back-to-back baskets. Dartmouth leads 17-14, 12:30 to go in the first half. Quisenberry drives towards the right block, spins around, puts up the layup, off the front rim, no good. Fight for the rebound, Adelican grabs it. Isaiah Robinson the other way for the Big Green. He has a bounce pass to Adelican. Adelican's going to hand it off to Mitchell Day. Mitchell Day spins, passes to Adelican, works his way towards the right block, picks up his dribble, passes into the corner. Myrtle for three, it's good. Romeo Myrtle hits a three. Dartmouth extends their lead 20-14. Will Richardson will now bring the ball up for Fordham. Swings it to Charlton on the left wing. Bounce pass to Nowitzki, who pivots, holds the ball towards his hip. Now he'll drive towards the basket. At the A10 logo, kicks it, Richardson straight on three. That one's good. Will Richardson drains a three, and Fordham is within three, 20-17. And Mitchell Day will have it for Dartmouth as Fordham has another press. But they're able to break it. Jaden Williams, he's going to try another three from the left arc. That one's good. Trading threes both sides, 23-17. Dartmouth in the lead. Will Richardson brings the ball over half court. Here's Charlton with another bounce pass to Nowitzki. Nowitzki passes to Quisenberry on the right wing. Quisenberry, he's going to take a three, and that one's good. 23-20, 11 minutes to go in the first half.
Quisenberry, the ultimate shot creator on this team. A great job on a screen from Rossi Nowitzki, getting him an open look.
Isaiah Robinson will slow things down for the time being. Brandon Mitchell Day has it for Dartmouth. Into the post, Adelican working on Nowitzki. It's blocked. Out of bounds, and possession will stay with Dartmouth, but that's going to lead us to another media timeout. 23-20, Dartmouth ahead of the Fordham Rams. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Andrew Crinieri.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
For the top 25, we have some fantastic matchups. Villanova is outperforming LaSalle as their game heads into the halftime. The score there is 69-58. Kentucky is coasting against Howard as they head towards halftime with a score of 82-48. Duke and Jacksonville are having a close game as they finish up the second quarter with a score of 48-28. The Battle of Tennessee is also heating up as Tennessee takes the lead against Tennessee Tech with a score of 37-22 as they also finish up their second quarter. Indiana is taking on Morehead State, where they lead 47-34 in the second quarter. Over in the A10, Dayton is off to a strong start against Lindenwood, posting up a score of 35-25 as they head into the halftime. Finally, in the NBA, the Knicks look to bounce back against the Timberwolves, and the Nets look to keep their streak going against the Mavericks. Both of those games start at 9:15 and 9:45 respectively. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Andrew Crinieri.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill Gym. 10:48 to go in the first half. Dartmouth leads the Fordham Rams 23-20, both teams in the huddle. And Ryan, as of recently, it's been basically a three-point contest between these two sides.
Yeah, and Fordham, you have to give them credit because that's not their game. Dartmouth, they want to play to that style, but Fordham, they're 5 from 7 from beyond the arc. So they're living up to that. They're just not getting back in transition. They're getting confused on some off-ball screens. Dartmouth, you have to give them credit because they're doing a great job getting open looks and setting up their guys they believe in to make shots.
Yeah, and you know Coach Urgo was game planning against the three. That's something he talked to us about. So the ability of Dartmouth to still get open despite that, I think it's a credit to Coach McLaughlin. credit to their team as a whole, being able to get these shooters open, and when they're open, they can make you pay.
And what they're doing is they're setting up screens where Rosniewicki, he has to go to the top of the key. When they drive on him, Fordham has to bring help inside, collapse the paint. That's going to allow you to kick out to a shooter, hit a shot at the wing, and they've had a few threes setting up that play call.
Like you mentioned, Fordham 5 for 7 shooting the three so far. We'll see how sustainable that is. Obviously, a very impressive clip so far in this game. But if you're Fordham, I don't know if you want to get into a shooting contest with this team, especially from three. It's Dartmouth. That's what they're known for. Fordham known for their strong defense. As it looks like Zach Riley will check into the game, the sophomore guard from New Zealand, joining his Fordham Rams. Charlton, Khalid Moore, Kyle Rose, and Abdu Simbilla. And Dartmouth will be ready to inbound on the baseline as Ryan Cornish will have it. And he's going to look to inbound it. Still looking around. Finally, it bounced pass in, and he gets it right back. Ryan Cornish. Cornish will drive towards the basket, puts up a floater, and it rolls in. Ryan Cornish into the lane, gets the teardrop to go. 25-20, Dartmouth in the lead. 10:30 to go in the first half. Here's Charlton. Khalid Moore, pump fakes, passes it around now on the right arc is Rose. Rose going to try another three, and that one rolls in. Kyle Rose with another three. 25-23, Fordham within two. And Romeo Myrtle will take the ball up for Dartmouth. Passes to Mitchell Day. Mitchell Day holding the ball at his hip. Bounce pass to Kristowiak. Kristowiak checking into the game for Dartmouth. Hands it off. Cornish, he's going to try a deep right arc three. Air ball. Rebound loose. Zach Riley grabs it for the Rams. Riley will push it in transition. Quickly into the paint. Now he backs back out. Khalid Moore. Through the legs dribble. Step back jumper. It's good. Impressive move from Khalid Moore, and this game is tied at 25. Romeo Myrtle the other way for Dartmouth. Here's Kristowiak, holds it at his hip. Now Myrtle. Myrtle, jab step, swings it into the corner. Here's Cornish in the far corner. He's fouled, and it looks like Dartmouth will inbound on the baseline.
Fouled there by Kyle Rose. Those two go all the way back to their days at Maryland. They grew up playing AAU together, so Kyle Rose certainly familiar with what Cornish wants to do with the basketball.
Kyle Rose bumped his friend right there, leading to the foul, which will allow Dartmouth to inbound on the baseline underneath the basket. It's going to be Kristowiak, the senior. Father had a 9-year NBA career, so he's basketball in the family. Lobs it into Myrtle. Neskovic right back to Myrtle. Myrtle, he's going to dribble on, drive towards the lane, kicks it out. Neskovic at the top of the perimeter. Neskovic is bumped. Zach Riley's going to pick up a foul. 9:23 to go in the first half, tied at 25.
Smart foul there by Zach Riley. Neskovic blew by him there, forced to just put the hand up, stop the ball, and let Dartmouth here reset.
Not only has Dartmouth been able to shoot the three ball well, they've also been able to work their way into the lane, working past these Fordham defenders. As Cade Haskins is going to inbound on the far sideline, right next to the Fordham bench. And he's going to get it into Kristowiak. Kristowiak holds the ball in his left hand. Almost lost it, but still has it. It's still poked away. Neskovic is able to wrestle it back, however. Dusan Neskovic, shot clock under 10. Bounce pass to Kristowiak, who holds it over his head. Passes to Isaiah Robinson. Step back three. Off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Khalid Moore. He's going to push it for Fordham quickly in transition. Moore, behind the back dribble, puts it up and lays it in. Khalid Moore with another impressive move to the basket, and Fordham now leads 27-25, their first lead of the game. 8:45 to go. Kristowiak on the left arc. Here's Cornish at the top of the perimeter. Cornish, pass it to Neskovic, drives towards the right block, kicks it out. Corner three, Kristowiak, and it's good. Kristowiak for three. Dartmouth regains the lead. Charlton pushing it the other way. Passes to Zach Riley. They're going to swing it all the way around to the Rams. Here's Quisenberry. Onto the right block, Moore. Kicks it back out. Quisenberry, right arc three. Off the front rim, no good. Cornish grabs the rebound. Ryan Cornish pushing it for Dartmouth. He's going to take a three in stride, in and out. Rebounded by Moore.
Cornish feeling himself there, but just too deep of a shot to take.
And a long pass there to Simbilla. It's too wide, and it's going to be a turnover for the Rams. As Quisenberry could not get that pass on the mark, looking to work his way down the court to Simbila. But it's going to be a turnover for Fordham.
These teams then continue to really push the ball in transition. You saw an errant pass there, but Fordham sticking with everything they've said. When they get a rebound, it doesn't matter who it is. They are pushing it all the way up the court. We've seen Khalid Moore, not your traditional 4, doing it with some nice dribble moves.
Isaiah Robinson will lead the ball over half court for Dartmouth, guarded by Quisenberry. Passes it to Neskovic. He's going to drive all the way to the basket. It's blocked by Moore. He pulled that one out of the air. Moore the other way, Quisenberry. Quisenberry, Charlton left arc 3, in and out. Just missed that 3. This place would have went nuts. Cade Haskins the other way, almost loses the dribble. Passes to Neskovic. Here's Cornish, swinging it to Cade Haskins on the left arc. Adelican on the left block. He loses it out of bounds. Possession will stay with Dartmouth. And that's going to lead us to a media timeout. 7:28 to go in the first half. Dartmouth leads Fordham by 1, 28-27. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, I'm Michael Calamari, reminding you to tune into New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch all the breaking sports news, hot takes, inside scoops from our beat reporters, and interviews with people around the world of sports. 101 airs every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on YouTube Live, and once again at night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM. Want more 101? Catch our Wednesday edition of the show, 101 Nightly, from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube Live. Join the conversation and tune in to 101, New York's longest-running sports call-in show.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill Gym. 7:28 to go in the first half. Dartmouth with a slim 1-point lead over Fordham, 28-27. And Ryan, we have not seen Khalid Moore play in person. Obviously, the transfer from Georgia Tech, playing his grad year here, but man, is he impressive.
Very welcome sight to see for the Rams. Everything we heard was his skill set's phenomenal. He does so many different things on the court, and we've seen that. The dribble moves for a 4 you don't see. How about snatching up that ball, the athleticism to reach up, come down with the block there. Khalid Moore, welcome to Fordham.
Khalid Moore went to Archbishop Malloy High School in Queens, so it's kind of a homecoming for him back in the Bronx, or at least in New York City, for Khalid Moore. And looking at the stat sheet so far in this one, Fordham spreading the wealth. You have 3 guys with 6 points, Rose, Khalid Moore, and Darius Quisenberry, your 3 big-time scorers. Antrell Charlton hitting a 3. He's got 5 points as well for the Rams. Ryan, looking at the offense so far, what have you seen from this group?
I've seen that they really want to push the ball in transition, but one area I look at, only 3 assists in this one. Dartmouth on their side of the court, they're doing a great job setting each other up. Fordham's had some good looks, haven't been able to come down with the shot, but that's an area you want to see if you're Fordham really getting an uptick. You want to get your teammates involved. Crisper passes, set up open looks for guys, because when the shots aren't falling, you need cheap baskets, and Fordham hasn't gotten me this far.
And meanwhile, Dartmouth, 2 guys with 6 points, Neskovic and Adelican leading the way for them, as both teams are back out onto the court. It's Dartmouth in their black uniforms, working their way towards the right side of the court. 7:28 to go in the first half. As Cade Haskins will inbound right underneath the basket on the baseline. Haskins has the ball in his hands, looks around. He's going to lob it up to Cornish, who grabs it for Dartmouth. Swings, and an offensive foul. Swung into the corner. Cade Haskins had an open look, but it's an offensive foul. Fordham possession.
Definitely not the play Dartmouth wants coming out of that immediate timeout. And something that stuck out to me right there, Khalid Moore on Ryan Cornish, maybe their best on-ball defender, so that's a trend to look for here tonight.
Darius Quisenberry has it off a screen from Simbila. Passes it in the corner. Will Richardson for 3. That's an air ball. Too strong. Rebounded by Cade Haskins. Here's Cornish the other way. Long pass over the head of Neskovic, out of bounds, and a turnover for Dartmouth.
Hit a few cheerleaders on that one. An errant throw, put too much zip on that ball. Fordham will absolutely take that.
They looked a little surprised, and rightfully so. They didn't expect the ball to be coming like that. Neskovic was open, but the ball was over his head. Here's Will Richardson for Fordham, the freshman, 4-star recruit out of high school. Khalid Moore has it. He's going to drive all the way to the basket. He slams it home. Khalid Moore gives Fordham the lead, 29-28, under 7 minutes in the first half. Adelican has it for Dartmouth, passes to Robinson. Robinson swings it to Neskovic, pump fake, he's going to drive to the basket. Euro step, gets the layup to go. Dartmouth regains the lead. 30-29, back and forth action here at the Rose Hill Gym. Richardson hands it off to Quisenberry's got it now. Quisenberry drives, puts up a floater, he gets it in. And Fordham regains the lead, 31-30.
Nice finesse play there by Quisenberry. It's not just a three, he'll take it into the paint. A nice teardropper to get the basket.
Here's Isaiah Robinson dribbling in his left hand. And it's swung over to Neskovic, who holds the ball over his head, looks around. He's got Haskins. Now down into the left block, Adelican. He's going to go to work on Simbilla. Kicks it out to Cornish. Cornish, jab step. Drives into the paint towards the right block. Stops, puts up a fadeaway jump shot. Tough shot, air ball. Good defense from Will Richardson, who snatches down the rebound and works the other way. Charlton in the left wing. Passes it back to Richardson. Richardson, he's going to drive to the basket, but loses it. And a turnover. Will Richardson saw Adelican in the paint, lost the basketball. Cade Haskins now in the far corner, and he stepped out of bounds. And a turnover for Dartmouth, 31-30, Fordham in the lead.
Great job by Fordham. They're collapsing on the wing. It forced him out of bounds there when Dartmouth looked like they had something going in transition.
Khalid Moore is going to take a seat, as does Simbilla. And Pat Kelly into the game, the sophomore forward out of Raleigh, North Carolina, as Fordham looks to inbound on the sideline. Gets it into Charlton. Charlton will let this one roll before he picks it up, advancing it over the half-court line, right at the Fordham logo. Charlton behind the back dribble, hands it off. Moore still in the game. Drives the basket, gets a layup to go. 33-30, Fordham in the lead. 5:20 to go in the first half. Here's Isaiah Robinson. Pass to Mitchell Day, swings it to Williams. Williams towards the left block, Adelican. Going back to work on Pat Kelly, puts it up, just misses the layup. It rolls out. Charlton grabs the rebound. Antrell Charlton will lead it the other way. Here's Richardson passing to Charlton, swings it to Moore. Khalid Moore on the right wing. Behind the back dribble, he's going to drive to the basket, spins, puts up the floater, gets it in. Khalid Moore leading the way now with 12 points for Fordham. 35-30, the Rams in the lead. Under 5 to go in the first half. Here's Mitchell Day. Mitchell Day swings it to Myrtle back into the game. Myrtle bounce pass to Williams, right back into the block, kicks it out. Here's Robinson. Robinson, Euro step, and it's blocked. Antrell Charlton with the rejection. Quisenberry the other way. He's got it at the right arc. Holds it at his hip. Quisenberry drives, right at the free throw line, stops, now kicks it out. Pat Kelly, he's going to drive baseline, puts it up, gets a layup to go. 37-30, Fordham in the lead. 4:21 to go in the first half. A timeout taken by Dartmouth here, and Ryan, they need a minute to talk things over as Fordham storms ahead.
Everything working for Fordham. Those last few possessions, Khalid Moore continuing that great play, and Pat Kelly playing big right there, playing defense in the paint. Then on the offensive side of things, traditional, just a three-point guy. No, he'll take it all the way to the basket. Fordham firing early.
And Ryan, we're seeing there that Fordham able to use their defense and turn that into offense. That's something Coach Urgo talked about. The rejection there from Charlton, able to quickly push it forward, and Pat Kelly able to finish it off. But Khalid Moore, he's doing everything. He's playing good defense, and he's got 12 points leading the way for the Rams.
And that dunk a few possessions ago, I didn't see that coming.
No.
That looked like a clear layup opportunity, but his athleticism, his size, his wingspan, he's able to rise up to the occasion, slam that one home. He's showing everything in the toolbox here early.
Ryan, I'm glad to hear that you were surprised, because I was too. It looked like it was going to be kind of a simple layup, but then the athleticism and ability of Khalid Moore able to slam that one home. And Charlton as well on the defensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball. A very important piece to this team at the guard position. Sure, he's not exactly the shooter that you would expect at that position, but a good ball handler, plays good defense, and kind of leading this Rams offense so far.
We're 16 minutes into the game, and he's played 16 minutes. I think that shows you he was top 10 in the conference last year in minutes per game. He's a Swiss Army knife. That's how they describe Antrell Charlton, so it's no surprise to see him in the game at all times.
And another thing that Dartmouth was able to do early, but they're not able to do lately, Kelly is shooting the three. Not as many open three-point attempts there in the last couple of minutes. And Ryan, I think that's why you're seeing the difference in the scoreboard that it is with Fordham with a 7-point lead.
Fordham came out of that 8-minute media timeout with a great kind of switch up. They were collapsing early on the three-point line, trying to force Dartmouth inside. They've stepped on the baseline a few times. They look just a bit out of sorts on the offensive side of things lately in this one.
Dusan Neskovic leading the way for Dartmouth with 8 points. Adelican has 6 points. And Dame Adelican has been impressive in the paint. He's kind of had the ability to work down in there, take advantage of the matchups he's had, but we just saw right there, Nowitzki had a little bit of trouble with him, but Pat Kelly was able to step up and get a stop.
That's tremendous to see if you're Fordham, because Adelican, he was the guy you circled. That was a clear opportunity where they could expose you in the paint. We know how their prowess behind the three-point line, but for him to be neutralized to a sense in this one, it's allowed Fordham to open up the 7-point lead.
Dame Adelican, get this, Ryan, his full family name, 32 letters. Luckily, I don't have to say that name. I can just say Adelican, the senior forward, originally from Gastonia, North Carolina. Both sides are back onto the court here. 4:21 to go in the first half. 37-30, Fordham in the lead over Dartmouth. As Jaden Williams near us, the freshman. But it's going to be Mitchell Day who will inbound on the baseline. Passes it into Myrtle, and we're back underway here. Myrtle has it for Dartmouth. Bounce pass to Monroe, the freshman back into the game. Holds it over his head. Here's Williams, left arc three. No good. Nothing doing there as Pat Kelly grabs the rebound. Charlton the other way for the Rams. Here's Antrell Charlton. Between the legs dribble. And underneath to Elijah Gray, who's checked into the game. And a travel will be called on Gray.
It looked like he tried to get it up early, but good closeout defense from Dartmouth. He took that extra step, and the refs saw a clear walk right there.
Elijah Gray, the freshman forward, getting his first minutes for the Rams. Here's Myrtle the other way for Dartmouth. Bounce pass to Monroe. Swings it into the corner. Here's Mitchell Day. Mitchell Day in the near corner. Here's Monroe. Monroe is going to look to drive in the extended right block. Working on Pat Kelly. Spins, puts up the floater. No good. Rebounded by Charlton. Again, good defense by Kelly. Quickly the other way. Kelly bounce pass. Richardson in the near corner. Swings it to Kelly. Left arc three. Off the front rim. No good. Rebounded there by Jaden Williams for Dartmouth. Here's Mitchell Day. Swings it to Cornish in the near corner. Cornish swings it towards the far corner. Here's Mitchell Day for three. Too strong. Rebounded there by Charlton. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half. Charlton swings it to Quisenberry. Quisenberry drives to the basket. He has it blocked. Richardson is able to get the rebound, and Charlton will slow things down a little there. A massive block as Quisenberry went up and got rejected. Here's Kelly on the right arc. Now Elijah Gray, the extended right block. He's going to look to drive baseline. Pump fakes, puts it up. He's fouled. So Elijah Gray will head to the free throw line. 2:49 to go in the first half. Fordham up 7. And Gray will be at the line.
Elijah Gray showing no fear, attacking the basket twice on these last few possessions, and something that's been a theme with these freshmen that this coaching staff talked about, their bodies are game ready. You typically don't see that from true freshmen, but Gray, certainly Romadine, Will Richardson, it looks like they're ready for this moment.
And Elijah Gray will be at the line for two. Holds the ball at his hip, spins it, bounces it on the floor, and puts it up. The first free throw rolls in and out. And Coach Urgo talked about with Elijah Gray, has the ability to play pretty much anywhere. He can play the 5, but he can also play the 3 or the 4. Has a lot of versatility, like a lot of these freshmen, like a lot of these young players, with incredible size and their athleticism to play all over the court, all different positions. As Gray will have one more free throw, spins it, puts it up, and gets this one to go. So Elijah Gray with his first Fordham points, 38-30, Fordham in the lead, 2:45 to go in the first half. Here's Cornish in the right arc. Neskovic back into the game, has it, guarded by Dean. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle, between the legs, dribble, passes it to Cornish, heading towards us. That almost hit me in the head. That ball out of bounds, and Dartmouth will keep possession.
Good job getting out of the way on that one, Sam. Quick movement there as a great deflection by Antrell Charlton.
And Cade Haskins will now inbound on the sideline right next to us. I'm glad I didn't say anything and react to that ball coming near us. But ability to get out of the way. 38-30, Fordham in the lead. 2:36 to go in the first half. Cade Haskins inbounds on the near sideline. Myrtle has it. Myrtle dribbling with the left hand. hands it off. Neskovic for three. That one's good. And Dartmouth able to trim the lead there with what they do best, a three-pointer, as it's 33-38 Fordham. Charlton with a left arc three the other way. That one's good. Fordham responds right away. 41-33, they're in the lead. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Neskovic with it, and a turnover. Charlton gets in the way. Bodies hit the floor here, and a foul. Impressive work by Charlton. Gets the three on one end, gets the steal on the other.
Charlton, he's pumped up as he heads to the ground. That's Fordham basketball for you, Sam. That's what they want to do. They want to press you. They want to be tight on you. And you had to see Dartmouth was forced to foul on that one. That's exactly what Fordham is looking for, turn defense into offense.
I mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Antrell Charlton has led the team in steals last year, able to get his hand in the passing lane there, jump the passing lane and get that steal. So Fordham will have possession, and Charlton will inbound on the sideline. With 2:06 remaining in the first half, Fordham up 41-33 over Dartmouth. They've been able to charge ahead after trailing in this one 8-0 to take the lead, and now find themselves up 8. And as we're waiting to resume play, the referee waiting to give the ball to Charlton, as he's telling them just to move back a little bit here on the far sideline. Now he blows the whistle, hands the ball to Charlton, who's going to look to inbound. Looks around, bounce pass into Quisenberry in the right arc. Quisenberry turns, looks around, jab step, now passes it to Charlton. Charlton passes to Richardson, swings it back to Quisenberry. Right arc three, Quisenberry in and out. Rebounded there by Cade Haskins. Dartmouth the other way. Cornish swings it to Neskovic. Neskovic almost loses it there, but is able to get it back. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle, bounce pass, gets it to Neskovic. Down low, Adelican loses it, a turnover. Dean picks it up. Here's Charlton the other way. Quickly, Khalid Moore. He has it picked from him. Cornish working for Dartmouth. Bounce pass to Neskovic. He lays it in. Neskovic gets the basket, 41-35. 1:20 remaining in the first half. As Will Richardson hands it off to Charlton. Bounce pass to Khalid Moore, holds it over his head, swings it to the near wing. Here's Dean. Dean at the A10 logo, spins, kicks it back out. Here's Charlton at the right arc. Charlton behind the back dribble. He's going to back down his defender. Bounce pass, cutting Dean, just misses the layup. Under a minute to play, 41-35, Fordham in the lead. Myrtle will take it up for Dartmouth. Myrtle bouncing the ball on the deck with his left hand, passes it to Neskovic. Neskovic is going to look to drive. Now he pulls out back towards the three. Neskovic swings it to Cornish. Cornish in the right arc. Under 40 seconds and under 10 now on the shot clock. Cornish swings it to Neskovic. He's going to try a right arc three. That one's good. Dusan Neskovic back-to-back threes. Dartmouth is within 3. And it looks like now we're going to get a timeout. 26.3 on the game clock. 26 seconds on the shot clock. 41-38, Fordham in the lead over Dartmouth. And Ryan, a couple quick threes there for Neskovic, able to work their way back into the game. That's what Dartmouth does. They hit the threes, and when you face a team like this that can shoot the three ball so well, they're not really out of any game.
Where would Dartmouth be without Neskovic in this game? 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. He's got 16 of their 31 points. It seems like whenever Fordham's up to figure out what they want to do on the offensive side of things, he's able to get an open look from 3 and bury it for Dartmouth.
And if you're Dartmouth, like we talked about, they needed guys to step up. Neskovic seeming to be one of those guys early on in the season. Just 1.8 points per game last season. Like you mentioned already, with 16 in the first half in this one. And just 26.3 seconds to go before halftime. As the shot clock is, I guess, 0.3 seconds off from the game clock. But this will be the last possession, most likely, for Fordham. 26.3, 41-38, a 3-point lead now for the Rams as both teams break the huddle and get ready for what will most likely be the final possession of the first half. And some subs here for the Rams. Nowitzki back into the game for Fordham. And Ramad Dean will inbound on the sideline as he awaits to get the ball from the ref. Looking to resume play here from the Rose Hill Gym. And he will have it here for Dean. Dean passes it into Quisenberry. 25 seconds to go in the first half. Quisenberry will hold on to this ball at his hip and let the clock run down as we approach now 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Quisenberry dribbling near the Fordham Rams F logo at the center of the Rose Hill Gym. Now under 10 seconds to go. Quisenberry, and he's fouled. It'll be Myrtle picking up that foul with 6.6 seconds to go in the first half. Obviously now the shot clock will be off, and Fordham will have the last shot before halftime. As Quisenberry was just trying to waste some time, it was bumped. And Dean will now inbound again on the far sideline. 6.6 seconds. He gets it in quickly to Quisenberry. Quisenberry drives towards the basket, and he's fouled. Darius Quisenberry will be shooting 2 free throws, and a good job there to force a foul with 3.2 seconds to go. He'll head to the line.
Sam, it's a very important element that Coach Urgo talked to us about, getting to the free throw line more. You want the opportunity to have free points at the charity stripe there, and Quisenberry taking it into the paint, forcing guys on, and able to just, flick it up, get the call to go his way, and now 2 free throws for him.
Quisenberry will spin the ball and put up his first free throw, and it's nothing but net. Fordham now 3 for 5 at the free throw line in the first half. Meanwhile, Dartmouth has yet to attempt a free throw. So 0 for 0. Fordham's done a good job limiting their fouls. 3.2 seconds remaining in the first half, 42-38. Quisenberry will have one more free throw, and it's good. So both free throws hit by Darius Quisenberry. 43-38. 3.2 seconds remaining, so one final shot for Dartmouth before halftime. Quickly into Cornish. Cornish up ahead to Myrtle. Open 3 at the buzzer off the front rim. And 43-38 our score. Fordham in front of the Dartmouth Big Green. That is going to do it for the first half. Let's go back to the Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Thomas Aiello.
The one-on-one halftime report.
You heard Sam Davis. It is my turn here to bring you the one-on-one halftime report. Hello, everyone. Thomas Aiello, Andrew Crinieri will be on momentarily. The score right now, Fordham 43, Dartmouth 38. The three-point barrage is a thing. The Dartmouth Big Green, 8 threes to 17 in the first half. That's 47% to Fordham's 7 for 14, 50%. It has been a wild offensive game for the Big Green. The Fordham Rams took a minute to get going, but they've built themselves a little 5-point cushion. But before we dive into the first half, Andrew Crinieri has a one-on-one scoreboard.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Villanova continued to outperform LaSalle. The final there is 81-68. Kentucky trounced Howard with a score of 95-63 as they wrap up their game. Duke has distanced themselves from Jacksonville, putting up a score of 60-35 with 4 minutes left in that game. Kansas and Omaha just started their game with a score of 39-26 in the first half. And Houston is taking an early lead over Northern Colorado with a score of 20-8 as they wrap up the second half. In the A10, Dayton is still going strong against Lindenwood. The score there is 44-27 as they also finish their second half. Finally on the ice, the Islanders are trying to rally against the Calgary Flames with a score of 2-1 as they head into the third quarter. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Andrew Crinieri.
Thank you, Andrew. I mean, every team tonight in college basketball is playing, which is like the greatest thing to ever exist in the history of things. So a very exciting night for a lot of people. But we have a game here, the Fordham Rams and the Dartmouth Big Green. My brain hurts watching this game. the amount of threes that Dartmouth takes, the sloppy mistakes that Fordham has been making in the first half. I know they're up 5, but it's very simple things that they can fix. Now, I know that there's 5 freshmen on this team. I understand there's a learning curve, and first game, nerves, it's a packed gym.
I don't think it's time yet to hit the panic button.
But no,
I think that they definitely have to find their groove, especially in the second half of this game.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Thomas, what do you think? What do you think they can do to start to solve that? Because we saw in the first couple of minutes, they started off really, really cold, had to work their way, get some momentum going.
Yeah,
and during that time, Dartmouth was able to score multiple 3 points against us, lead up the score. So what do you think is the main solution here?
So it's funny that we're saying don't hit the panic button. It's the first game of the season, so everyone loves to overreact. I guess they just have to calm down. That's really it. There's reasonable expectations this year, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think they can calm down just a little bit. I don't see why that's an issue. But the two leading Fordham, Khalid Moore and Darius Quisenberry, combining for 24 points in the first half. They've got 8 from Antrell Charlton, 6 from Kyle Rose. The freshmen are chipping in. Patrick Kelly had a little field goal. And for Dartmouth, it's Neskovich, 16 points. He's perfect from 3. He hasn't missed yet.
Yeah,
that's
looking
scary.
amazing. That is scary to look at, honestly, especially a guy like that can just put up the ball anywhere and score. It's a scary thing, but granted, we do have an amazing defense, and I think despite our low output in this first half, we started to show that a little bit.
Well, the defense is what is going to carry this team. And to quote the Field of 68 Almanac, they called Fordham's defense the Mario to their offensive Wario. How about that one for a...
I've never heard that before, but I think that's a pretty apt description.
Fair, right?
Yeah, that's a fair description.
Well, that's been one of the emphasis this year, especially in the offseason, is how is Fordham going to get better defensively, or offensively, excuse me. Defensively, they were great. They were top 40 in the country last year. Last year, offensively, they were 327th out of 358 teams.
Definitely leaving some to be desired there.
Yeah, there are some things left to be desired. I will agree with you there. They do need to clean it up, especially in the paint. Their defense in there. I know that Dartmouth's not going in there, but the centers have been non-existent in this game so far. They've taken Rostik Nowitzki. I mean, defensively, he's had some nice plays. Abdu Simbila, he doesn't have any fouls, but he's got 2 turnovers. And he has to replace Chuba Ohams as well as Nowitzki. That's not the easiest thing to do in the world.
Some big shoes to fill there.
Oh, yeah. Very big shoes to fill. But it's going to it's going to be a team effort. We said that in the pregame coming in. Danny and I, this is a deep Fordham team, and there's a lot of areas that Keith Urgo can go to. As for the Green Wave, I mean, again, the 3-point shooting has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, time and time again. I mean, we saw all the way throughout this first half, wherever they want to put it up, they can,
I'm really intrigued by the efficient looks that they've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
I think David McLaughlin has done a good job with this Dartmouth team and creating those looks. They've pulled Fordham out of their comfort zone, right? They like to stay inside and guard the paint, but they need to guard guys not at the college 3. They need to guard them at the NBA 3, which is about 3 or 4 feet further out to the half-court mark. You have to think a couple steps ahead, and this was a situation that they ran into last year with St. Thomas of Minnesota, a first-time Division I team who kept bombing threes, and they only won the game, I believe it was by 6, Fordham did. But their defense is designed to let non-3-point shooters shoot. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's like letting a quarterback who can't throw the ball. I mean, something's going to happen. You're going to get interceptions. Or it's like an MMA. A guy who doesn't have a power punch, you just let him hit you all day with little jabs because it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't garner any respect for the other team. They're just going to let them walk all over you.
I also do believe, Andrew, the rebounding for Fordham, that's their identity. Only 17 to Dartmouth 16. We also need to look. The O boards have been, I don't want to say they've been lacking, but they are something I'm looking at here. Both teams have 3. Fordham needs to grab more of those. Now, again, they've had some lapses. They've had some missed rotations on defense, but you have to box your guy out. You can't do anything until you secure the rebound. That is the number 1 priority in any basketball game is grab the rebound.
Yeah, get control of the ball and move the ball around and get in those scoring positions, and then eventually follow up on that. I actually want to ask you, Thomas, what do you think is going into the second half? What do you think Fordham's going to have to do to secure this win? I don't think it's time to switch up the game plan by any facet because we still have the lead. But
I'll ask you that question first.
What do you think we need to do?
Give me a quick
honestly,
sentence.
At least what I saw in the first half, I saw a team with a lot of jitters, very exciting for the season to start, or very excited, I should say, for the season to start. And from that, I think they just need to fall into their groove, rely heavily on that defense, and then, again, like you said, really focus on those rebounds and getting that ball back in the scoring position. And I think that will really lead to our success in the second half. But what do you think, Thomas?
So, okay, I will. The first thing is the sloppy, silly mistakes need to be cleaned up. A lot of these would be mistakes that I would make in middle school. At the collegiate level, especially when you're going to be playing in the Atlantic 10, the profile of the league has raised. The competition's probably doubled in terms of quality this coming season. You need to clean up these flubbed rotations and these didn't box the guy out, didn't grab the rebound, 0 boards. You shouldn't be giving up.
It's simple mistakes.
Yeah, you shouldn't be giving up 3 0 boards to Dartmouth of all teams, especially when you've been praising how physical and strong and tall this Fordham team is, which they are. They've had times in this game so far where they have been incredibly physical, and they've
had moments, but it's few and far in between. I think in the second half, what we've been expecting from this team heading into the season. So I think to really make a statement, they really got to play towards that in the second half. They got to really lock down this ball and get those rebounds.
I also think it's important here for the freshmen that they've got some of the butterflies out of their stomach. Now, it's not easy coming into any college environment when you're a high school player. Just, you're thrown right into the fire. Will Richardson wasn't even and Will Richardson was the highest rated recruit. He wasn't even the first freshman off the bench. Roma Dean comes in. The guy jumps 25 feet in the air. He grabs a rebound, goes down, and then hits a free throw in like a minute of play. To me, that sort of got this whole thing going. And Khalid Moore, man, I mean, what a monster here in his first.
He's putting in a performance.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you play 4 years in the ACC. So you're bound to be pretty good at the Atlantic 10. But 6 of 8, 12 points, 3 boards. He pinned someone to the backboard with a block. That was impressive. I knew he was good coming in. I didn't know he was going to be this good. I really couldn't tell you that.
Yeah, talk about a surprise. I mean, I think we've all heard the stories of how great this guy is, but what a performance, honestly, so far. I mean, I think we collectively have some gripes about this team, especially going, this first half. But Moore is not a part of those gripes at all. He's been performing well and showing us some athletic feats that harken back to such an athletic team that we were talking about in the preview, or at least you guys were.
No, I'll also, Darius Quisenberry throws efficiency out of the window at the top of the Empire State Building. 3 of 10 in the first half. He does have 10 points, and he has 2 assists, so we'll give him partial credit.
It's a big asterisk.
It is a big asterisk, but the 3 of 10 shooting drives me insane because some of that is it can be one of two things. You're taking either really bad shots or you're just taking good shots that aren't going in.
Yeah.
Tonight it's been a mixed bag for him. Now, he is 2 of 2 on the free throws. Fordham does have 6 free throw attempts to Dartmouth's 0. I expect that to change. But Fordham needs to you got to hit all the free throws, man. You can't leave those 2 points at the line. I mean, late game free throws.
Those are free points you're leaving. As the name implies,
they're free.
they're
free. It's
free.
in the name, folks.
And to leave those points on the board, I mean, it's just it's something that you really don't want to see, especially in a game that we had a slow start in. We're trying to find our footing. It's the first game of the season. We really want to make a stance here, and just to leave those easy points up for grabs is something that I hate to see personally.
Fordham is winning the foul and turnover battle. Fordham with 6 turnovers to Dartmouth's 8. 7 personal fouls for Dartmouth to Fordham's 5. So Kyle Rose is the only guy in real foul trouble. He's got 2. Other than that, only 3 other Fordham players are in foul trouble, which is good. That's a huge plus for this Fordham team. But that is just going to about do it. Once again, the score at the half, Fordham 43, Dartmouth 38. We're going to throw it back to Sam Davis and Ryan Gregware for the call for the second half.
Hey everyone, this is Ryan Gregware, one of your broadcasters for Fordham men's basketball all season long. Stay locked in for the first year of the Keith Urgo era right here on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports, and YouTube Live.
It's 90.7 WFUV New York. Listener-supported public media from Fordham, the Jesuit University of New York. On air, online, and always commercial-free.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill Gym. About 3 minutes before we get underway in the second half, Fordham with a lead 43-38 over Dartmouth. Sam Davis and Ryan Gregor with WFUV Sports. And Ryan, overall, an impressive half from Fordham. Went down early, able to work their way back into it, and now they have a lead.
Yeah, you look at this, a 5-point lead, but they're down 8-0 in this game. So really, they've opened it up nicely since that slow start. They've been shooting it great behind the arc. They've been pushing it in transition. Good energy, exactly what we expected coming in. We've seen from the first half from Fordham.
And the biggest impression for Fordham on the offensive side of the ball, it's been Khalid Moore. 12 points, 6 for 8 from the field. We didn't know exactly what to expect from the guy. He's obviously a grad transfer playing in his first game with Fordham, but overall he has been very, very impressive.
He's done everything. He's defended, he's blocked, he's dunked the basketball, he's driven into the paint, he's passed, he's pushed it in transition. As you bring up, everything in the toolbox has been on display thus far for Khalid Moore.
Khalid Moore has had 4 years with Georgia Tech, started 30 of 32 games last year for Georgia Tech, also made an NCAA tournament appearance. So a lot of experience for Moore, and he's playing with it, and he's playing with an impressive ability. Not only, it's pretty rare among big men for his ability to dribble the basketball. His handles were very impressive. They were on display in that first half.
That's why there's so much optimism with this unit. Last year's team, that 4 and 5 spot was limited. You had Abdus Simbila. Instead of playing the 5, he was on the 4. Now when you're able to kind of stretch the floor, you're able to do so many different things. 4 guys can push it up the court. Khalid Moore, when you see him dribble the basketball, I don't know any power forwards that can do that, Sam. His ability to go between the legs, behind the back, really special first half for him.
And it's going to be difficult for Fordham to replace a guy like Chuba Ohams, but some positive signs today with what they've been able to do with their big men, especially Khalid Moore. And looking at Dartmouth on the other side of things, it's been all Dusan Neskovic. 16 points. He's 6 for 7 from the field, so he's missed just 1 shot. He's 4 for 4 from 3, in addition to 4 rebounds. He's done it all for them.
And he's somebody coming into this game, we didn't know what we'd be seeing. Very limited playing time last year, just 6 minutes per game, just took 27 total shots. But it's clear he's hunting looks, he's aggressive, and credit to him because he's made all his threes. He's 6 for 7 from the field. He's been huge for Dartmouth, able to keep this one close.
And Fordham, after some turnovers and maybe a little bit of nerves and shakiness early on in the first half, they were able to turn things around. Dartmouth hasn't had a free throw all game, so they've been able to not get in any sort of serious foul trouble after that first half. That's been the key for Fordham as well, not giving Dartmouth any gimmies, any easy points at the line.
And that's been huge, and a lot of it has to do with coaching. That this team, they knew Dartmouth doesn't beat themselves, so don't give them opportunities to beat you. Fordham has been the team that's playing more disciplined. What we thought Dartmouth would be coming in terms of the fouls and the turnovers is what Fordham's been in this game.
And Dartmouth was 17th in the nation last year in free throw percentage, so a very good free throw shooting team, but have not been to the line yet today. Part of the reason for the success for Fordham so far, as we're getting ready for the second half of action from the Rose Hill Gym. College basketball is back here in the Bronx. 43-38, Fordham in the lead. Both teams in the huddle, getting about ready to break it and start our second half action. And Ryan, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a packed student section here. Always a nice sight for the Rams and the Rose Hill Gym. The historic Rose Hill Gym, as both teams break the huddle and get ready for second half action. As Fordham coming out with their starting 5, Charlton, Rose, Quisenberry, Simbila, and Khalid Moore. And Dartmouth looks like they're going to do the same, led by Dusan Neskovic. We'll see if he can continue the pace he's on. 4 for 4 from 3. Overall, Dartmouth 8 for 18 from behind the arc. Fordham right there with him, 7 for 14, 50% from the field, 50% from 3. And Fordham has been able to build a nice lead here in the first half. We'll see what they can do in the second. As Ryan Cornish ready to inbound, and we're ready for second half action. Here's Myrtle. Myrtle bounce pass to Adelican. Adelican puts the ball over his head, passes it to the left arc. Haskins. Haskins down low to Adelican, swings it out to Myrtle. Myrtle bounce pass and almost loses it, but gets it back. Here's Cade Haskins right back down to the left block. Adelican goes up and he's fouled. Looked like Adelican was going to try and slam that one home, but he will head to the free throw line for 2.
Kyle Rose on that play, being a bit aggressive there, trying to get the inbound pass there. Adelican able to get the ball, go to the paint, and get fouled and head to the free throw line.
Dame Adelican, 70% from the free throw line last year. He's going to have the first free throws of the game for Dartmouth. Makes the first one, 43-39. Ryan, of course, as we talked about, they didn't get to the line in the first. As soon as the second half starts, they're at the free throw line. Adelican will have one more, and he gets it. 43-40. Dartmouth now trails by 3 as Charlton will lead the way for Fordham. Hands it off with Quisenberry. Now Charlton back over the half court, hands it off to Rose. Rose on the right arc. Quisenberry now has it. Quisenberry passes to Moore. Moore on the left block. He's going to back down Neskovic, puts up the floater, gets it in. Khalid Moore with ease for two, 45-40.
We've talked so much about Moore in this one, but he looks so comfortable too. That's another aspect. When he's going to the paint, he's not frantic. He's calm, cool, and collected, and he gets the nice teardropper to fall.
And Neskovic has an open three in the corner, and that one's good. Neskovic continuing to shoot the three ball well. He's now 5 for 5 from behind the arc. Dartmouth within two, 45-43. And Charlton has it for Fordham now at the right arc, off a screen from Simbilla. Here's Moore, swings it into the corner with Quisenberry. Quisenberry driving towards the A10 logo, pump fakes, moves around, gets the layup to go. 47-43, Fordham back with a 5-point lead. Early stages of the second half, 18:30 to go. Neskovic guarded closely by Moore. This time he's going to take Moore to the basket, drives, puts it up, it's blocked. Abdou Simbilla got a hand on it, and he grabs the rebound. Fordham the other way, here's Charlton. Charlton off a screen from Simbilla. Charlton at the free throw line, bounce pass on the right block. Simbilla works around Adelican, gets the layup. 49-43, 18 minutes in the second half. Myrtle the other way, hands it off to Haskins. Haskins swings it to Neskovic in the left arc, guarded closely by Moore. Down in the left block, Adelican looking for a cross-court pass, deflected, but it ends up in the hands of Myrtle. Here's Haskins. Here's Ryan Cornish. Cornish looking for Neskovic, but Rose was able to get a hand on it, force it out of bounds.
Fordham playing incredibly tight defense right now, and Abdou Simbilla, a great series of events. Those last few possessions, standing tall in the paint and then putting it in the bucket on the offensive side of things.
Abdou Simbilla, 23 blocks. That's second on the team last season, as he's playing an even bigger role this year. Here's Myrtle spinning and driving into the lane. Pump fakes, puts it up, misses the layup, and rebound grabbed by Simbilla. Quisenberry guarded closely by Cornish. Works towards the sideline, and he's fouled. Cornish will pick up the foul against Darius Quisenberry. 49-43, 17:38 to go in the second half.
Quisenberry so intelligent with that body control, able to put himself in a position to kind of just, flail his body, get the call to go as well. You've seen Fordham, winning the foul battle, winning the free throw battle. It's because you pick up cheap ones like that one.
Nowitzki will check into the game for Simbilla. Charlton has it for Fordham. Hands it off with Quisenberry in the left arc. Quisenberry passes it to Rose. Rose. Here's Khalid Moore on the left wing. Passes it back to Quisenberry. Quisenberry working on Myrtle. Off a screen from Nowitzki. Back down in the left block. Nowitzki spins. Battling there with Myrtle. Double team. Gets the layup to go. Nowitzki with the patience down in the block is able to get the layup. 51-43, Fordham in front. Robinson into the game for Dartmouth. Passes it to Neskovic. Neskovic at the top of the perimeter, guarded closely once again by Moore. Isaiah Robinson passes it to Monroe. Checked into the game. Here's Myrtle. Back to Neskovic. Neskovic through the legs dribble, now behind the back. Drives towards the right block, puts up a floater, air ball. Nowitzki grabs the rebound. Quickly the other way, Khalid Moore. Khalid Moore on the far corner. Backing down Robinson. Pump fakes and puts it up, and he's fouled. Khalid Moore took advantage of the mismatch there, and he's going to head to the free throw line.
These last few possessions, Fordham's done a good job getting size on a lack of size. We saw Rostin Nowitzki putting it up over a 6'2 Myrtle, and Khalid Moore getting it into the paint on an inferior defender that they'll force to foul him.
Khalid Moore is being guarded there by Isaiah Robinson, who's just 6'3", Khalid Moore 6'7", so definitely had the size advantage and took advantage as he heads to the free throw line for two. The first one is up and good. Moore will have one more free throw with 16:34 to go in the second half. Dartmouth was able to climb within three in the very early stages of that second half, but now Fordham and Khalid Moore will have a chance to give the Rams a now 10-point lead. They're up 9. Moore will have one more free throw. Here it is, and it's good. 53-43, Fordham in front. 16:34 to go. And some more subs into the game. It'll be Pat Kelly back in for the Rams, as Isaiah Robinson will bring up the ball for Dartmouth. Works his way over half court. Here's Mitchell Day on the left wing. Mitchell Day holds it at his hip. Looks down low to Monroe. Monroe puts it up, and it'll be a foul on the floor. Jackson Monroe in the paint. The foul is going to go against Nowitzki. 53-43, 10-point lead for the Rams, and it'll be an inbound on the baseline underneath the basket. Jackson Monroe, the freshman. He will have it in his hands. Passes it to Isaiah Robinson. Robinson swings it to Mitchell Day. Now here's Myrtle. Myrtle into the lane, puts it up. Wild and no good. Block there. Saved by Kyle Rose. Quickly Charlton the other way for the Rams. Charlton spins, crossover move. Takes a free throw jump shot, and it's good. Charlton with an impressive dribble move, and now Fordham's up 12.
He loves that pull-up jumper. Any chance he gets a little separation, he's going to rip it, and he hits it right there.
Mitchell Day swings it to Myrtle on the far wing on the right side. Down low, Haskins looking for Monroe, but it's over his head, and a turnover for Dartmouth. 55-43, Fordham up 12, 15-51 to go in the second half. This is immediate timeout. Stay with us for more Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, guys? I'm Julia Moss.
And I'm Will Talent.
And we're two of your hosts for one of WFUV's football podcasts, NFL Friday.
Tune in every Friday for all news and updates around the National Football League.
Also, we'll be making our picks of the week around the league on every episode. Check out NFL Friday wherever you get your podcasts to catch the action.
Back at the historic Rose Hill Gym, Sam Davis and Ryan Gregware with WFUV Sports. Fordham in front, 55-43 over Dartmouth. And to start that second half, Ryan, Dartmouth was able to close within 3 points on the strength of Neskovich, who was able to hit another three. But Fordham bounces right back. They respond quickly, and now they build themselves a nice little lead.
Yeah, this is a nice 12-point cushion for Fordham. And what I look at here, just one three-point attempt thus far in this second half for Dartmouth. We've talked about their reliance on the three ball. Such an important part of their game. And Fordham in this second half, outside of that one kick three, they've done a great job of limiting those opportunities, forcing Dartmouth inside and being successful on that end of the floor.
Khalid Moore still leading the way for the Rams with 16 points now, 7 for 9 from the field. Fordham shooting 56% from the field. Have been very, very efficient. Antrell Charlton there with 10 points as well. And Ryan, overall, I think he's been impressive on the offensive side of the ball. Not really something he's known for, but his ability to not only play solid defense, but able to hit some big-time jump shots in the second half.
What hurt him last year was who he would take the shots. But this year, so far in this game, he's making the shots, right? He's getting open, good, separation there with the dribble move. That pull-up jumper, I brought it up earlier, he loves that shot. If he's able to hit that at a consistent clip with his ability to pass the ball and rebound the ball, he becomes a huge weapon for this offense.
And in the nature of the first game of the year, people tend to overreact a little bit to everything that's going on, but Fordham's still in very good shape here, up 12, 15-51 to go in the second half. Both teams back out onto the court here. Nowitzki still into the game. Will Richardson in as well. Like I mentioned earlier, a 4-star recruit, the second highest recruit in team history. Will Richardson, the freshman, as Quisenberry will have it over the midcourt line for the Rams. Moving now left to right. Quisenberry drives to the basket, puts it up, and one. Darius Quisenberry with the layup plus the foul. 57-43 now. Fordham in the lead. Quisenberry with impressive toughness there. Able to get bumped, get to the floor, and still make the basket. He now has 14.
With Khalid Moore shining in this game, you almost put Quisenberry on the back burner, but he'll remind you right there, Sam, such a dynamic player on the offensive side of the ball.
Darius Quisenberry will have one more free throw, and he does. He makes it a 3-point play, 58-43. Fordham extending their lead as Isaiah Robinson has it, passes it to Haskins on the left wing. Haskins to Williams, down in the post to Delican. Delican working to the right block, puts it up, and one. Dartmouth quickly responds with a and one of their own. And Damon Delican will have one more at the line.
Frustrating play for Fordham. It looked like Rosek Nowitzki did everything he could with his arms up. Unfortunately for him, Delican was able to get the call.
Damon Delican with impressive physicality and toughness. Other than Neskovic, the only Dartmouth player with double figures. He now has 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. He's also 2 for 2 from the line so far today. He'll have one more free throw here. With Fordham up 13, 15:30 to go in the second half. Adelican takes a free throw and makes it. And a solid free throw shooter. Adelican at 70%. Quisenberry looking to inbound on the baseline. Gets it in with some pressure. Here's Khalid Moore. Khalid Moore over to the left wing. Through the legs dribble. Khalid Moore down to the left block. Pump fakes. Now looks to kick it out and does. Here's Quisenberry. Quisenberry off a screen from Simbilla. Darius Quisenberry will try right arc three, and it's nothing but net. Darius Quisenberry, a contested three. Fordham up 61-46.
Quisenberry has that microwave ability to just get red hot. We saw at the end one and drilling the three. It looks like he's heating up in this one.
A 15-point lead for Fordham. Adelican spinning, and he's going to be fouled, and he's going to head to the line once again. So after Neskovic has been lights out shooting, the only other guy that Dartmouth has been able to turn to offensively in this game is Dame Adelican. Back-to-back possessions, forcing some contact, and once again heading to the free throw line.
He's done a good job in this second half of really getting to the line. Now his 4th and 5th free throw attempts coming up, and in the first half that saw 0 attempts, he's doing his best to get 3 opportunities here for Dartmouth.
The first free throw is good for Adelican. Simbilla picked up that foul for the Rams, as now Adelican will have one more free throw. It's up, and it's good. 61-48. Fordham still in the lead as Quisenberry with a bounce pass to Richardson, who gets it started for the Rams right back to Quisenberry. Quisenberry will dribble over half court and will slow things down, hands it off to Richardson, who drifts towards the right. Richardson driving towards the right block, loses possession of the ball on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession will remain with Fordham, as that's the way the possession arrow is facing, but a turnover there from Richardson. He's lucky to get it back.
Fordham has to be careful here because while they've opened up this lead, Dartmouth with their three-point prowess has the ability to make it a game really quick. Some careless basketball there from Will Richardson.
Fordham cannot get complacent. Is going to have to continue playing physical, hard basketball like they have so far today. It's inbounded to Richardson on the right wing. Richardson bounce pass to Quisenberry in the near corner. Quisenberry looking down low in the extended right block. Here's Simbilla. Simbilla puts up the floater, in and out, tipped in by Ramad Dean. Ramad Dean checking into the game, gets that 2 to go. Quickly the other way, Williams for Dartmouth. Here's Robinson, pump fake. He's going to drive to the basket, and a blocking foul is called. So Robinson will head to the line for 2. That call definitely could have went either way. It goes in favor of Dartmouth.
Great shot fake off the dribble there from Robinson, able to get into the paint. Khalid Moore put his body on the line, but unable to get the call to go Fordham's way.
And surprised to see, looking at the replay there, it looked like Khalid Moore was set, but maybe leaned into it just a little bit. And that's going to draw the blocking foul. So Isaiah Robinson will be at the line for 2. The first one rattles in and out. Isaiah Robinson, 9 for 11 from the free throw line last season. So is very successful there. That one just rolled in and out. As the Fordham Rams student section is going to make some noise here for Robinson and his second free throw. Robinson takes a breath, spins the ball, and will shoot. That one's off the back rim, no good as well. Rebound by Adelican, offensive rebound, throws it ahead. Neskovic is able to grab it. And Dartmouth will slow things down a little here. Neskovic to Adelican. Adelican working on Simbilla. Right at the A10 logo, spins, puts it up, and gets it in. Dame Adelican starting to come alive. He now has 15 points. Dartmouth down 13, 63-50. Under 14 minutes in the second half. Offensive foul. That looks like it's going to go against Khalid Moore on a screen set there by him. Some subs come in for the Rams, and now Dartmouth will have possession.
Momentum swinging all in Dartmouth's favor. Here are some careless possessions for Fordham on the offensive side of things and letting Dartmouth take advantage of second chances to cut this to a 13-point game.
Fordham picking up some fouls here as subs check into the game. Isaiah Robinson leading the way for Dartmouth. Here's Jaden Williams, the freshman, swings it to the left arc, Neskovic. Down the left blocks, skip pass to the corner. Robinson will drive baseline, puts it up, blocked by Charlton. Jaden Williams the other way. He's going to take an extended elbow jump shot, no good. Rebound once again, Adelican. finally, Fordham picks up the rebound, and it's Khalid Moore working the other way for the Rams. Khalid Moore, guarded by Neskovic in the corner, passes it out to Quisenberry. Here's Charlton. Charlton calls out a play. Neskovic sets up a screen. That's Rostic. Nowitzki underneath, puts it up and gets it to go. Rostic, Nowitzki for two. 15-point lead for Fordham.
Nowitzki looks so much more comfortable with the ball in his hands than he did last year. That's not a play Fordham would run for him last year, but he landed with ease right there.
Rostic, Nowitzki. Coach Urgo said when he's finally healthy, he's as good as anyone with a basket right there. Here's Neskovic the other way. Spins, puts up the layup. No good. Good defense from Khalid Moore. Also grabs the rebound. Moore the other way for Fordham. Moore is going to drive baseline. Behind the back dribble. Kicks it out to Dean, who swings it. Quisenberry, left arc three. Off the back rim, too strong. Rebounded by Neskovic. Under 13 to go in the second half. Neskovic passes it into the corner. Robinson down to Cornish. Kicks it back out. Jaden Williams is going to try a three. That's too... Not enough there on that one, off the front rim. Rebounded quickly here is Quisenberry. Quisenberry passes it to Nowitzki on the left elbow, back out to Quisenberry in the left wing. Quisenberry is going to drive to the basket, puts up the layup, goes to the ground, gets it in. No fouls called there as Quisenberry fell to the ground hard. He's up limping now, but does get the basket to go. 67-50, 17-point lead for Fordham, their largest of the day. And it's going to be a timeout here for Fordham, 67-50. They're in the lead against Dartmouth, and we are going to take a break here. We'll be back with more basketball from the Rose Hill Gym. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
UNC Wilmington and North Carolina have gone off to a close start. The score there is 8-8 with 14 minutes left in the first half. Gonzaga and North Florida just started their game. The score there is 14-10 Gonzaga. Kansas and Omaha are in a hotly contested match with a score of 50-43 in the second half. Over in Arkansas, the Razorbacks have a strong lead of 48-31 against North Dakota State. TCU is currently behind against Arkansas Pine Bluff. The score there is 50-43 with 15 minutes left in the second half. And Houston continues to hold on to their lead over Northern Colorado with a score of 43-50 as they enter the final 10 minutes of the game. In the A10, they input in a textbook performance against Lindenwood. This final there is 73-46. Finally, back on the ice, the Islanders are still trying to tie it up against the Calgary Flames with a score of 3-1 in the third period. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Andrew Crinieri.
Back at the Rose Hill Gym, 12:03 remaining in the game. Fordham up 17, 67-50 over Dartmouth, and all things are going well, but Ryan, for Fordham, a little bit of concern there as Darius Quisenberry hit hard, makes the layup, but comes up limping as he's going back down the court.
You have to hold your breath, and Darius Quisenberry, he's a guy who's dealt with injuries in the past, was held out most of camp, really didn't get back into practicing until a week or two ago with an ankle injury. So you saw him grimacing as he got up, putting his body on the line. Smart to take the timeout, see his health, and regather as a team.
Not only if you're Fordham do you want Quisenberry going forward, but you also want him today in this game as he's got now 20 points, leading the way now for the Rams. He's come alive in the second half, 7 for 15 from the floor, 3 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 3 from the line. Quisenberry proving himself and showing himself as the leader of this Rams team.
Leader off the court and leader on the court, and we've really seen it on the court now, and all of a sudden you look up the score, 20 points for him. He's able to score at such a quick rate, and it's almost like you don't see it coming. Then you look at the box score, and he's got 10 more points than you'd expect. That's what we've seen in this one. Efficient, 2, 7 for 15, so we'll see what happens with him coming out of this timeout.
Coach Urgo said Quisenberry has worked on being more of a leader both on the court and off the court, and he thinks that overall affects his game for the better. As the better leader he is, the better he plays on the court. We're certainly seeing some success from him with 20 points, and Khalid Moore right there with 16 as well for the Rams. We'll see if he's on the bench. I would say definitely early on in the year they might take the precaution of sitting him down right now as the team breaks huddle, and yes, he will be on the bench.
And Sam, you look at the scoreboard too, sorry to cut you off, they're up 17, so you have this cushion and it's allowing you to rest your guy in Quisenberry.
Definitely a great point there as Dartmouth will inbound on the sideline. It's going to be Cade Haskins getting it in. Here's Jackson Monroe, the freshman, and Myrtle for Dartmouth. Myrtle's going to drive to the basket, puts it up, no good. Defense there by Nowitzki. as he airballed, but a fight for the rebound, and it looks like it's going to go against Nowitzki. So a foul there on the rebound against Nowitzki. And it looks like now a timeout for the Rams. 11:55 to go in the second half. Fordham up 67-50. And Ryan, right there, you're seeing Nowitzki picking up a foul there. But good defense, able to force the air ball, but then on top of that, picking up the foul.
Now, unfortunately, he's up to 4 in this game, so he's 1 away from that danger zone of unfortunately fouling out here. I brought it up earlier. It's a theme we saw with him last year. He has that frame, and there's so much potential there. He just has to be smarter with his body, have more control. That one, a more questionable call. You saw Aiello Charlton really displeased, looking for a walk. He's not able to get the call, though, and Nowitzki will have to be really careful here with 4 fouls.
Fordham had 5 fouls in the first half. Now they have 12 here in the second half with still just about 12 minutes to go in the game. They're now out fouling Dartmouth, who just has 10. And looking at this side of thing for Dartmouth, if they want to work their way back into the game, it's very obvious on offense. They've been relying on Dusan Neskovic and Dame Adelican. Those two guys have been the offense for Dartmouth, combining now for 24 points between the two of them. As 67-50 our score, 11:55 to go in this one. And Ryan, I'll ask you this. What does Dartmouth need to do to try and work their way back into this game?
Neskovic in this second half, just 3 points. And that's the area, 16 in that first half. You need him to match that because no one else is giving you anything. Obviously, Adelican, as we talked about, has emerged in the second half in the paint. But down 17, you're going to need perimeter shots to get back into this one, especially when that's your bread and butter on offense. So find ways to get him the ball. Try to get those screens, mismatches, opportunities that he had in the first half back here this final 12 minutes.
And Dartmouth has cooled down from the field, shooting now just 40% overall from the field. Meanwhile, Fordham is still red hot, 59% from the field. And Ryan, that's definitely a credit of the offense's ability to push the ball in transition, get good looks, and then capitalize off them.
Yeah, not only just pushing in transition, helping you in the paint, but allows you to spread the floor because you're able to get guys in the wing, able to kick it out. That's where they've had a lot of success from beyond the arc, which we haven't seen in the past. Still 8 for 16 at 50% in this game, pushing it. Been an emphasis for this team. They've done a great job of sticking with the game plan.
67-50, 17-point lead for Fordham, as both teams jog back out onto the court. It's going to be Myrtle at the free throw line, as it looks like he's going to have a 1-and-1. Romeo Myrtle spins the ball, puts it up, and gets it to go. And Myrtle will have one more as Dartmouth now into the bonus. And that's something that Fordham is going to look to avoid to work their way back into the game. Don't want to give Dartmouth any free chances at the line. Myrtle will have one more, and he makes it. Cuts the deficit down to 15 as Rose will inbound to the baseline. Here's Will Richardson for the Rams. Richardson, the freshman, brings it up for Fordham. Now Rose passes it to Charlton as they break the mini press there from Dartmouth. Here's Richardson on the right wing. Swings it to Charlton into the corner. Rose pump fakes through the legs dribble, drives baseline. And this nice pass there to Simbillo, tries to slam it home, but it's knocked away. Out of bounds, and it's going to be off of Ramad Dean. Dartmouth will take possession.
Simbillo just went up too hard with that one. Certainly had the look under the basket. A good feed from Kyle Rose, but too much strength on that one from Simbillo, and unfortunately the ball pops out of the rim.
Simbillo tried to slam it home and was rejected as Neskovic has it for Dartmouth. Here's Jackson Monroe. Hands it off to Cornish. Cornish has it at the right wing. Crossover move. Cornish drives to the basket, puts it up, and it rolls out. Rebound there, Simbillo. He falls to the ground, but it's going to be a foul against Dartmouth. And this game is getting physical here for both sides as Simbillo snatches that rebound.
And physicality is Simbilla's strength. So make no mistake, that's certainly an area where Fordham wants to see great defense inside on Cornish. Crafty move, but Simbillo was ready for the occasion.
Simbillo, safe to say, he's a big guy. 6'9", 245 pounds. A physical rim protector for the Rams. As Charlton advances it past half court, here's Will Richardson off the right wing. Richardson loses the handle, but it's right to Charlton. Charlton swings it to Rose. Rose will back down Cade Haskins into the right block. Rose spins, pump fakes, puts it up, and he's fouled. Kyle Rose is able to back down Haskins all the way to the basket. He'll head to the free throw line.
Just a nice free cheap move there. Now you set up an opportunity where you looked at the Dartmouth side of things. You didn't want to give them free chances at the line. Certainly if you're able to trade that off with opportunities your own, it'll make up for it. A good move there for Kyle Rose.
Kyle Rose will have 2 free throws for the Rams. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 51 three-pointers last year. That was good for second on the team. He also was second on the team in steals per game the year before. Rose, a junior, has seriously shown some improvement over the years for Fordham. As the sub will check in for the first time today, Jaron Johnson into the game for Dartmouth. He's going to check in for Cade Haskins. Kyle Rose at the line. Takes a deep breath. Bounces the ball, spins it, and now will take the free throw, and it's off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Neskovic. Here's Cornish the other way for Dartmouth, now Myrtle. Romeo Myrtle, bounce pass to Neskovic. Neskovic has been cold so far in the second half after being red hot in the first half. Cornish the other way for Dartmouth. Cornish drives to the basket, puts it up, and he's fouled. Kyle Rose tried to rise up with him and get the block, but Cornish is able to draw the contact, and he will now head to the line.
A smile on Kyle Rose's face. The 2 Maryland natives going at it there. Good on-ball defense from Kyle Rose, but Cornish crafty move inside to get the foul call to go his way.
I'm starting to think Kyle Rose is getting physical on purpose with his friend there in Cornish, as that's the second time he's fouled Ryan Cornish at the line for 2. Gets the first one to go. So Ryan Cornish will have one more, the sophomore guard. One of the guys for Dartmouth that is hoping to take a step up after coming off the bench last year, but did still play in 18 games, so has a good amount of experience for the Big Green, despite the fact that he's just a sophomore. As Cornish will have one more from the line, and he gets it in. So both free throws good for Dartmouth. That's what they do. They hit their free throws. They're 80% so far from the line today. As Quisenberry will inbound on the baseline. 10:37 to go in the game. 68-54. The Rams up 14. Quisenberry to Charlton. Charlton back to Quisenberry as they are over the half-court line. Quisenberry off a screen from Simbilla. Quisenberry looking around as he picked up his dribble, passes it to Charlton. Here's Richardson on the right wing. Richardson tries to make a move. And right at the A10 logo, he has it, passes it back out to Charlton. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Charlton, step back, mid-range jumper, it rolls in. And Charlton able to stop on a dime and hit that jump shot right at the elbow, 70-54. And now under 10 minutes to go in the second half. Neskovic the other way, and it's blocked by Simbilla. And it looks like that's going to be goaltending. So that'll count the basket for Dartmouth, 70-56 now.
Coach Urgo put his hands on his head there. Did not like the call. Simbilla rising up just a split second late, getting the goaltending call.
Simbilla was able to pin that one off the backboard, but just a little bit too late, like you said, Ryan. And Fordham will take over. And it's now going to be Zach Riley into the game, who has it for the Rams on the near side. Riley, double team, picks up his dribble, gets it over, as Charlton is waiting here on the near side. Charlton guarded by Myrtle. Off a screen from Simbilla. Charlton now double team, passes it to Khalid Moore back into the game. Swings it to the far side wing. That's Quisenberry. Quisenberry is going to take a deep step back three, and it's too strong. Rebounded there by Myrtle. And he's going to push it in transition for Dartmouth. The other way quickly. Myrtle picks up his dribble, passes it to Neskovic at the top of the key. He drives in the lane, loses the ball out of bounds. Fordham takes possession. 70-56, Fordham in the lead. 9:21 to go in the second half. And they're able to force a turnover from Neskovic. It's been tough sledding for him in the second half.
Fordham Stevens did a great job there, collapsing the paint, forcing Neskovic to get off script there as he loses the basketball.
Neskovic still with 21 points in the game, but the majority of those coming in the first half. As Charlton has it for the Rams at the right wing. Skip pass to the corner. Riley passes it to Quisenberry. Quisenberry passes it to Moore. Moore has it. Swings it to Charlton. Charlton near the top of the perimeter. He's going to take another elbow jump shot, and that one's good. Antrell Tarleton now with 14 points, back-to-back baskets. 72-56, Fordham in front. As Ryan Cornish has it for Dartmouth. Bounce pass to Adelican. Here's Neskovic off the left wing. Neskovic guarded by Moore. Into the left block. Here's Adelican working on Quisenberry. Kicks it out. Cornish for three. That one's good. Ryan Cornish able to make the Rams pay. Left open, and he drills the three.
Just the second three in this half for Dartmouth as they get back to playing their style of basketball.
And Quisenberry has it for the Rams, pushing it quickly. Here's Simbilla. Simbilla's going to hand it off to Zach Riley off a screen. Floater up to Simbilla, a lob, and he could not bring it home. And quickly the other way is Dartmouth. Here's Neskovic. Neskovic into the paint, kicks it out. Cornish, another three, and that one's good. Back-to-back threes for Ryan Cornish, and that's going to be a timeout for Keith Urgo. Not pleased with his team as Dartmouth is able to cut the lead down to 10, 72-62. Fordham in front, 8:08 to go in the second half. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Colin Loughran.
And I'm Tyler Mooney.
And we're your two main hosts for WFUV Sports NHL podcast 5 on 3.
Here on 5 on 3, we will talk everything Rangers, Islanders, and Devils.
We'll have all the news from around the NHL and keep you updated on the chase for the Stanley Cup.
Alongside Colin and I, Chris Hennessy, Samantha Bohr, and Thomas Quigley help us out as hosts.
You can find 5 on 3 wherever you get your podcasts. Home ice for all things NHL, 5 on 3.
Back at the Rose Hill Gym, Sam Davis, Ryan Gregware with WFUV Sports. 8 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the game. At one point, a comfortable Fordham lead has become a 10-point lead now, 72-62. They're still in front. It's been Ryan Cornish. He's hit back-to-back threes, back-to-back open threes, and that's what Coach Keith Urgo was not happy with on the sideline.
We looked for Dartmouth for someone to step up here if they wanted to bridge this gap, and it's been Ryan Cornish. He's done a great job of getting open looks. The second he's had just a split of separation, he's ripped that shot. Now Dartmouth down 10 points. We talked about the three ball, how valuable it is. Well, suddenly Fordham in complete control in the second half, now only up 10.
And Dartmouth shooting 50% from behind the arc, 11 for 22. Cornish now has 12 points in the game. Neskovic still leading the way for the Big Green with 21, but relatively quiet in the second half as Adelican has arisen as well with 15 points himself. As Fordham in their huddle, they're led by Darius Quisenberry still with 20, but has been on the bench after taking a hard fall earlier in the game. Still a lead for the Rams, so I'm sure they will still be cautious with Darius as they break the huddle and they're back out for this one. Zach Riley back out there. Pat Kelly also out there for Fordham as he's checked in the game, along with Charlton, Khalid Moore. And it looks like Darius Quisenberry will be back in the game, so Ryan, a good sight for the Rams there, having him back. As he's going to inbound on the baseline. 8:08 to go in the second half. Quisenberry passes it in to Zach Riley. Back to Quisenberry, back to Riley. Riley looks around, tosses it over the head of Cornish. Here's Charlton on the right wing. Charlton bounce pass to Khalid Moore at the top of the perimeter. Khalid Moore looks around, and he takes the freshman one-on-one Mitchell Day. Now passes it back out. Zach Riley right, arc three. That's off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Myrtle. Myrtle quickly the other way for Dartmouth. Here's Jaron Jackson into the game. Jaron Johnson, excuse me. Dame Adelican into the paint. He spins, puts up the layup, gets it in. Dame Adelican brings the lead for Fordham within 10 points. It's now 72-64, an 8-point lead for the Rams. Charlton the other way, bounce pass to Khalid Moore. Khalid Moore swings it to Pat Kelly in the right arc. The Rams moving around the perimeter. Here's Darius Quisenberry. Bounce pass to Moore. Moore is going to look to drive to the basket and does. With ease, gets the layup to go. Fordham back up 10.
So slippery when he drives to the basket. Khalid Moore, a big bucket for Fordham. They needed that one in the worst of ways.
And Myrtle the other way for Dartmouth. Passes it to Mitchell Day at the top of the perimeter. Now here's Adelican on the right block, guarded by Quisenberry, but he misses it. So a mismatch there in the paint, but he couldn't take advantage of it. Misses the floater. Now the other way, here's Charlton on the right wing. Charlton picks up his dribble, looks around, bounce pass to Khalid Moore on the right elbow. Khalid Moore pump fakes again, now kicks it out to Zach Riley, who's going to drive baseline. Riley stops, kicks it Quisenberry. Quisenberry back into the paint. Straight on three from Charlton, off the back rim, too strong, rebounded by Cornish. Cornish the other way for Dartmouth. Cornish almost loses its dribble, but picks it back up. Here's Adelican at the left wing. Adelican guarded by Kelly. Driving to the right block, puts it up, gets the layup to go. Easy drive to the basket there for Adelican, and it's now back to an 8-point deficit for Dartmouth. Charlton the other way for the Rams. He will hold on to his dribble on the far side. Khalid Moore will come up. Here's Charlton, crossover, passes it to Zach Riley, swings it into the corner, Quisenberry. Quisenberry, Pat Kelly in the corner, back to Quisenberry. Guarded by Myrtle, 5 in the shot clock. Quisenberry is going to drive to the basket, puts it up, and it's good, but an offensive foul. Ryan Cornish was able to draw the charge there, and Dartmouth, the momentum definitely swinging in their favor, now down just 8.
And that's a massive difference right there. Then up 10 with a free throw versus up 8. Cornish, a great job setting his feet there and getting the call to go Dartmouth's favor.
It's definitely a good call. Ryan Cornish had his feet set, was able to draw the charge. And a big call for Dartmouth, who now finds themselves down 8 with the basketball. And Myrtle will take it up for Dartmouth over the half-court line. Hands it off to Mitchell Day. Mitchell Day, the freshman, over his head, passes it to Kristowiak into the game. Kristowiak swings it to Cade Haskins. Down in the left block, Kristowiak again. And a foul is going to be called on the floor against Nowitzki, and that's going to be his 5th. And boos from the crowd rain down. They don't like that call as Rostik Nowitzki picks up his 5th foul. And he's going to be forced to check out of this game. 74-66. Fordham up 8. Dartmouth awaiting their free throws. But it looks like it's going to be a quick timeout here. Or at least a stoppage in play. Simbila will check into the game for the Rams. And the refs will call both sides back. No timeout. 5:23 to go in the second half. This lead growing tighter and tighter for Fordham as Cam Kristowiak will have 2 free throws at the line now in the double bonus. As the referee bounces the ball to Kristowiak, who spins it, puts it on the deck, and will put up his first free throw. No good. So an untimely miss there for Dartmouth as they're hoping to flip the momentum. Kristowiak will have one more.
Now that they have that double bonus, these free throws mean everything. And getting Rostik Nowitzki out of this game, setting up that double bonus opportunity, you got to capitalize if you're Dartmouth at the line, and a big miss right there.
Nowitzki now with 5 fouls out of the game. Khalid Moore and Kyle Rose both have 3 fouls for Fordham, as Kristowiak has 1 more, and he gets this one to go. 67-74, 7-point lead now for the Rams as Dartmouth opens up with some full court pressure. Charlton has it, passes it to Quisenberry, right back to Charlton, right back to Quisenberry, who advances over half court. He now slows things down for Fordham. Bounce pass to Charlton. Charlton hands it off to Kyle Rose on the right wing, swings it to Quisenberry. Quisenberry holding the ball over his head. Khalid Moore, left arc 3, off the rim, no good, too short, rebounded by Simbila, and an offensive foul is called. The fans not liking that call either, as Simbila tried to grab the rebound, but he's called for a foul, and now Dartmouth will have 2 more free throws.
Few crucial calls going against Fordham late in this game. Simbila looked like he reached a bit over the defender there. I could certainly see why the refs would make that call. More importantly, gives Dartmouth another 2 free opportunities at the free throw line.
And it's going to be Cam Kristowiak once again at the line. He made 1 of 2. Just a few short seconds ago. He'll have 2 more here. As I mentioned, Dartmouth in the double bonus. The first free throw rattles in and out. So Fordham has been fortunate. The call's not going their way, but Kristowiak not able to hit a couple of big free throws for Dartmouth, who's got Fordham on the ropes, hoping to cut into their deficit, down 7. The second free throw from Kristowiak is good. And now a 6-point lead for the Rams. Charlton has it for Fordham. picks up his dribble, passes it over to Kyle Rose in the left arc. Kyle Rose quickly to the basket, puts up the layup and gets it in. Kyle Rose aggressively right to the hoop. He gets the layup to go. Fordham now up 8. And here's Myrtle, passes it to Neskovic. Neskovic driving to the basket, tries to slam it home, but it's in and out. He tried to dunk on Simbila, but the ball does not fall. So Fordham will take possession. Khalid Moore on the near wing. Khalid Moore driving to the right block. Offensive foul. Another call going against the Rams. This time it's a charge call. Neskovic was the one who drew it. And boos, even more boos rain down here from the Rose Hill Gym.
Fordham in absolute disbelief on that call. Darius Quisberry wanting the refs to take a look at it, and it looks like they will right now.
And that is going to take us to a media timeout here. So we are going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Andrew Crinieri.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The matchup between UNC Wilmington and North Carolina is still a close game. The score there is 17-17 with 7 minutes left in the first half. Gonzaga and North Carolina just started their game. The score there is 34-10 Gonzaga. Kansas has started to take the lead over Omaha. The score is 68-55 with 9 minutes left in the second half. Over in Arkansas, the Razorbacks are still going strong with a score of 56-40 against the North Dakota State. TCU is starting to close the gap against Arkansas Pine Bluff with a score of 52-50 with 13 minutes left in the second half. And Houston continues to hold their lead over Northern Colorado with a score of 59-27 as they close out their game with 8 minutes left. The A-10's Dame put in a textbook performance earlier tonight against Lindenwood. The final is 73-46. And finally, in the NBA, the Knicks have started their clash against the Timberwolves. The score is currently 38-29 as they enter the second quarter. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Andrew Crinieri.
4:23 remaining in the game. Fordham up 76-68. The lead starting to slip here, Ryan, but what does Fordham need to do to put this one away?
When you look at this game, Khalid Moore driving the basket has worked so well. They've gone away from him a bit here in the second half. He did have a big bucket a few possessions ago, so that's where I'd go. Darius Quisberry, he's going to command so much attention. That should open up the floor just a bit for Moore. We saw him drive with ease in that first half. I'd like to see Fordham get back to that to put this one away.
After it's definitely been a tale of two halves for Fordham in terms of the foul game. Not putting Dartmouth on the line at all in the first half. Now Dartmouth with 15 free throw attempts in the second half. A couple of calls there down the stretch, not going Fordham's way. Nowitzki is already fouled out. He has 5 fouls. Khalid Moore with 4 fouls as well. And for the Rams, just not going their way in terms of the foul game, and a couple calls back to back there going against Fordham.
And you heard the boos really come down there. Some ultimate frustration there from the Rams faithful. And when you bring up how good Dartmouth is at the free throw line, they mean everything because they'll capitalize on their opportunities. They're 11 for 15 here in the second half from the free throw line. So if you want to get them back into the game, you put them on the free throw line. That's what Fordham's done here in the second half.
Fordham will hope to avoid that free throw line and avoid fouling Dartmouth down the stretch. And like Ryan said, maybe get Khalid Moore the ball even more as Quisenberry walks up for the Rams along with the rest of the offense. Fordham up 8, 4:23 to go. Dartmouth will take possession after what was an offensive charge call against Khalid Moore. Neskovic picked it up as Myrtle has it for Dartmouth. Here's Neskovic in the left wing. Swings it to Haskins. Down on the extended left block, here's Adelican. Adelican driving in the paint, puts up the floater off the side rim, rebounded by Simbila. And a big stop for the Rams defensively. They'll slow things down here on offense as we're now under 4 minutes to play in the second half. Charlton hands it off with Quisenberry. Quisenberry looking to drive to the basket. In the right block, spins. Passes it to Simbila, who slams it home. Nice vision from Quisenberry, able to find Simbila underneath the basket, and he finishes it off. Fordham up 10, 3:45 to go in the second half. Here's Myrtle the other way. Neskovic straight on three, off the front rim, no good. A rare miss, the first miss from three-point range for Neskovic. And Fordham will look to take advantage. Up 10, under 3:30 to go in the second half. Here's Charlton. guarded by Haskins. Charlton in the paint, bounce pass to Rose, who puts it up and gets the layup in. Fordham up 12. 3:15 to go in the second half, 80-68. Passing down into the left block. Here's Adelican again for Dartmouth. Spins and puts up the layup. No good. Another miss for Dame Adelican. Back-to-back possessions. 80-68. Fordham up 12. Under 3 minutes now to go in the second half. Charlton with a bounce pass to Quisenberry, who has it right at the Fordham F logo. And he's going to run out some clock here, as there's now 10 seconds on the shot clock. 2:45 in the game clock. Quisenberry driving to the basket quickly, puts up the layup, just misses, but the tip back is good. Ramad Dean is able to tip the ball in there for Fordham. Quisenberry went to the ground once again, very hard, but he's up quickly. The toughness from Darius Quisenberry.
Such a tough player. When he hits the ground, Sam, he hits it hard. We've seen it on display a few times in this one. How about these last few possessions for Fordham? In the paint, on the defensive side of things, getting the rebound, pushing it, great passing inside, easy buckets. They've opened up a 14-point lead.
And a nice debut there for Ramad Dean, now with 7 points after that tip in. And Fordham, 82-68 in the lead. They've stretched their lead here in the last couple of minutes, as Neskovic has it at his hip for Dartmouth. Off of a screen, Neskovic. Crossover move. Kicks it back out to Cornish. Cornish, he's going to look to drive to the basket. Has it knocked away, but right in the hands of Cade Haskins. He puts up a desperation three. Off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Will Richardson. Will Richardson pushing the tempo, and Charlton says slow down as he has the ball. With now under 2 minutes to play in the second half. Antrell Charlton, straight on, guarded by Adelican. He drives to the basket, bounce pass, and it's slammed home by Ramad Dean. 84-68, Fordham in front. Here's Cornish the other way. He's tripped up, and a foul picked up there by Kyle Rose. It's going to be his fourth.
And the lightest of contact there. You saw Kyle Rose in absolute disbelief. Barely a touch on the right arm. Cornish does a good job selling it. Dartmouth, they need these free throw opportunities in the worst of ways right now.
Back-to-back baskets for the freshman Ramad Dean, who has shown out in his Fordham debut and his collegiate debut. As Ryan Cornish will be at the line now. Like we've mentioned, Dartmouth in the double bonus, so Cornish will have 2 free throws after that foul from Kyle Rose, who now has 4 in the game. Cornish, first free throw is pure. 84-69 now. Khalid Moore will check back into the game. Will Richardson out, as Ramad Dean also out for the Rams. And it looks like now a timeout here called on the floor. One more free throw for Cornish. 84-69, Fordham in front. 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining. And Ryan, Fordham over the last couple of minutes have been able to once again extend that lead. Dartmouth was able to get it down and make this game interesting, but now Fordham able to put the pressure back on Dartmouth, jump out to a bigger lead.
Dartmouth made things uncomfortable for Fordham, but when they needed it most, they really went inside. They were able to drive to the basket on a few occasions, find a cutter. He was able to put it up and in, whether it was Kyle Rose, whether it was Ramad Dean on a tip-in. Fordham did a great job. You saw Dartmouth these last few possessions. They've been all out of sorts on offense, forcing up a deep three with 15 seconds left on the shot clock there. Now Fordham under 2 minutes, up 15. They're in a good position here to take care of the basketball to put this one away.
And a rare ill-advised shot from Dartmouth on that three-pointer, like you mentioned, from Cade Haskins. Just threw that one up. Something Dartmouth does not do very often. Usually the threes they get are good looks, and usually they make them. But nevertheless, Fordham in front, 84-69. Cornish will have one more free throw at the line, hoping to cut this deficit to 14 points, but time running out for Dartmouth. Just 1 minute 51 to go in the game. The second free throw is good, as Cornish now with 13 points on the day. As Fordham will inbound on the baseline. Rose passes it into Quisenberry, who's double teamed, and he's fouled. So a little early to play the foul game there, but Quisenberry will be fouled on the double team. Still 1 minute 50 to go. 14-point lead for Fordham. And Rose will once again inbound on the baseline. Same spot he was last time. This time he passes it into Simbilla, who passes it right back to Rose. Here's Quisenberry with it now. Still trying to advance the ball over half court. Quisenberry Double team, passes it back to Rose. The ball goes through his legs, and that's going to be a violation. 8 seconds there. And a turnover for Fordham.
Dartmouth bringing the pressure there, and Fordham out of sorts. You saw Darius Quisbury passing it back behind him with, that 10-second violation counting down there. Dartmouth, good job. If they keep putting pressure on Fordham, they could make this a very interesting ball game.
Dartmouth has been pressing in the full court at times. They haven't had any success with it until right then and now as they force the turnover. Myrtle passes it to Neskovic at the top of the perimeter. Neskovic is going to drive quickly to the basket, and he gets the layup to go. He falls hard to the ground after Simbila went up with him. No foul is called. Neskovic got the layup to go, so a 12-point lead now for the Rams. Neskovic, a good sign as he's up. He's going to check out of the game here as he's limping a little bit as he heads off. Neskovic with a serious collision there with Abdou Simbila. A physical game from both sides here in this one. As Kyle Rose will inbound on the baseline, gets it into Moore. Moore passing it ahead to Rose. Rose picks up his dribble, right back to Moore. Moore working his way back towards the middle of the court. Now Quisenberry has it. Dartmouth tried to trap, but Fordham was able to get it over the half-court line, and now they're going to slow it down a little bit. 1 minute and 10 seconds with 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Quisenberry off a screen from Simbila at the left arc. Quisenberry looks to drive all the way to the basket, has his shot blocked. Out of bounds. Jackson Monroe, the freshman, was able to soar and block that one. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Fordham will have an inbounds pass.
Fordham will have to work quick here, but a key 27 seconds have dripped off that clock. Just 1 minute and 2, certainly working in the Rams' favor.
1 minute and 2 seconds remaining in the second half. Fordham up 12. Charlton will inbound underneath his basket. Looks around, throws it up a lob to Simbila, catches it, puts it up, and he's fouled. So an inbounds play for the Rams there that had Simbila catching the lob. He went down, and now he's going to head to the free throw line.
Great job there from Simbila. That's not an easy play to make. He made it look a lot more effortless than it actually was. He had to get that shot off in 3 seconds. Let's not forget he was able to do that and get the foul to go his way.
Simbila with 4 points and 5 rebounds has yet to attempt a free throw in this game with exactly 1 minute on the game clock in the second half. The first free throw is good from Abdou Simbila. 85-72, 13-point lead for Fordham. Once again, time running out for Dartmouth. And Abdou Simbila will have one more from the line. 13-point lead, excuse me. Second free throw, rattles home and is good. Impressive work there from Simbila, the big man, hitting a couple big free throws for Fordham. Under a minute to play. Myrtle the other way for Dartmouth, hands it off to Cornish on the right arc. Cornish down into the paint, Adelican pump fakes, puts it up, gets the 2. And now a timeout will be called by Dartmouth. Still a 12-point lead for the Rams. And Ryan, if you're Fordham, you'll take those 2-point baskets. What you don't want is a three-pointer, and that's what you got to think Dartmouth is going to be looking for here to try and find their way back into the game.
Yeah, no fouls, no three-pointers here. You do that, you take care of the basketball. Things are certainly looking in your favor. The clock can only be your friend at this point. It's only an enemy of Dartmouth here, so use it to your advantage. Drain as much clock as possible, and you get out of Rose Hill starting 1-0.
And you got to think Coach McLaughlin will be drawing up some plays to try to get his three-point shooters open, whether that be Ryan Cornish or Dusan Neskovic, who leads the way for Dartmouth with 23 points. Adelican right behind him with 21 after that basket there. Fordham now into the bonus, with Dartmouth being in the double bonus for a long time now, with 51.5 seconds to go in this one. And Dartmouth is going to have to climb back in this one quickly. But as the time is ticking down in the game, Fordham in good shape to get the first win of the year at home at the Rose Hill Gym.
This is where experience is so important. And Fordham, the guys they're going to have in the court, they've played a ton of college basketball. Dartmouth, with losing a lot of their top guys, they don't have that. So Fordham, they know what they want to do if they want to get out of here with the win. Be careful with the basketball, and no surprise seeing the starting five back out here for the Rams.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast how Fordham was second to last in the A-10 in scoring offense last year with 86 points today. Coach Urgo's got to be very happy with that. result from the Rams. Still 51.5 seconds to go in this one. As Kyle Rose will inbound on the baseline for Fordham. Passes it into Khalid Moore, who's quickly fouled. So Khalid Moore will now head to the line as Fordham is in the bonus. It's going to be a 1-and-1. So it will be important for Khalid Moore to hit this first free throw, which will give him one more at the line. 86-74. Khalid Moore heads to the line. The rest of the Rams teammates, at least most of them other than Charlton, will hang out behind the line. Moore with the 1-and-1. And here is Khalid Moore. Free throw rolls out. So still a 12-point lead for Fordham. Dartmouth's got to move quick. Here's Myrtle the other way. Hands it off to Cornish at the right wing. Cornish drives towards the basket, and it's blocked by Simbilla. Simbilla denies Cornish. The finishing touches on this one for the Rams with now just 30 seconds remaining in the game. And Charlton has it right at the Fordham logo. Dartmouth will elect not to foul. 15 seconds on the shot clock here. 86-74, Fordham in front of Dartmouth for the final seconds. Charlton is going to drive to the basket right at the A10 logo, puts up a floater, gets it in. The cherry on top for the Rams, who now have a 14-point lead. Myrtle the other way. Here's Cade Haskins swinging it into the corner and out of bounds. Jaron Jackson stepped out of bounds for Dartmouth. A 14-point lead for the Rams, just 5 seconds to go. And Ryan, Fordham can just soak this one up now.
Yep, you can dribble this out. A great feel-good win for Fordham. 88 points, home opener, a lot to be excited about.
Darius Quisenberry will do exactly that. He's going to dribble the clock out in this one as the Fordham Rams win the season opener, win the home opener, 88-74, your final from the Rose Hill Gym. And Ryan, overall an impressive win for the Rams. 88 points on offense. They were able to stop Dartmouth in the second half to get a nice, comfortable win.
That's how you start the year, Sam. Great stories in this one. Darius Quisenberry leading the way with 20 points. Khalid Moore, the addition from Georgia Tech with 18. Fantastic defense, 7 rebounds for him. That led the way for Fordham. Little bit of everything you saw on the offensive side of things for the Rams here tonight.
Fordham was scorching shooting from the field. 57% overall shooting from the field in this one. Like you said, Quisenberry leading the way in the points department with 20, but a bunch of guys right there between Khalid Moore, Antrell Charlton with 16. And it's going to be Dave Paulson, the assistant coach, heading over to talk to us after the Fordham Rams victory. 88-74 the final. As Dave Paulson getting on the headset here and ready to join us here. And Dave, sorry, just a little trouble with the headset. So Dave, overall, just general impressions from the win for the Rams. What's your biggest takeaway from this one?
Well, I think the big thing was, we knew Dartmouth was really dangerous shooting the three. And what I thought was great, I've been in these games before where the other team gets hot, they've got nothing to lose, and your team panics. We didn't panic today. We've got a lot to learn, a lot of teachable moments, but I thought our guys showed great composure. I think at the end of the first half, defensively we locked down, and then the first 6 or 8 or 10 minutes of the second half was a Fordham basketball. Obviously, great to score so many points, a lot of balance. I thought the ball moved well, but we clearly have some work to do on the defensive end of the floor.
Khalid Moore with 18 points in this one in his Fordham debut. What did he bring to the basketball court here tonight?
Well, and I don't think, I think he's scratching the surface for how good he can be. He's a really, really versatile guy. He's a matchup problem. I don't think he shot the ball well from 3 tonight, but he's capable, but certainly driving the ball, posting up, offensive rebounding, and he allows you to have another playmaker at the 4 spot, which I think is really important to make sure that we get good ball movement.
Coach, you mentioned some teachable moments. What exactly were those? What are the ways that Fordham can improve from this win?
Well, not every team is going to play like Dartmouth. I think they came in the game last year 33rd in the country in the number of three-point shots they take. So they're an extreme example. But we had a game plan, we had a scouting report, and a lot of the threes they hit in the first half were mental mistakes by our guys. And that's what your first game's for. They don't look or play anything like us, and so you have to kind of get your sea legs, if you will, on the court. So I think that, and in the second half, we were so conscious of taking away the threes, which we, for the most part, did, but we have to be more tough-minded at the 5 position to be able to stop them from scoring. So I think, the big picture, defensively, we've got a long ways to go. But I've always said it's better to teach from a win than from a loss.
Coach, final question for you here tonight. How can a win like this get you prepared for a Friday night showdown versus Arkansas?
Well, again, you just want to get the first one in the books. We got some guys who got their first game experience. I think they can see how good we can be. But obviously, we're going to have a very daunting challenge, Arkansas. So let us enjoy this for at least 6 hours, will you?
Fordham assistant coach Dave Paulson. Dave, thank you so much.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
And wrapping things up here, 88-74, Fordham victory over Dartmouth. And Ryan, I just want to hear, what are your final thoughts, overall impressions from the win for the Rams?
Well, first off, I'll give Coach Paulson 6 hours. I do enjoy this win, but
hey, I thought it was a good question, but still, he obviously wants to enjoy the win for sure.
And, obviously that's fair for him. So back to this game, though, 88 points. I think that's the big thing you look at in this one, because this is the team. He talked about how defense really needs to be what they focus on, but you don't expect 88 points from the Fordham Rams. Certainly last year's group, you did it. So this is a sign of things to come. Obviously, it's game 1 of a long season, but potentially if you could see Fordham's offense spark the way they did tonight, you have to feel really good about this team moving forward.
Fordham starting off the season strong, 88-74 victory over Dartmouth. That's going to wrap up things for us here at the Rose Hill Gym. We have our friends back in the Rose Hill studios ready for the one-on-one post-game report with Thomas Aiello. Take it away, guys.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Well, what a thriller, what a headache. All sorts of adjectives can be used to describe tonight's game. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the one-on-one post-game report. I'm Thomas Aiello. What a roller coaster of a game would be an understatement for this game. Fordham 88, Dartmouth 74. Second half, much better for the Rams, shooting 65.5% from the field in comparison. However, 1 of 6 from the three-point land compared to their 7 of 14 in the first half. Fordham escaping despite Rostik Nowitzki fouling out. Kyle Rose and Khalid Moore were in foul trouble at the end, but you walk away, 4 guys in double figures. You stop a Dartmouth team that shot 46% from 3, and you walk out of there with a very dominant second half and a really good win next game against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Andrew,
yeah,
I
think it's a perfect tee up for the Razorbacks, honestly. Yep. I think this is a game that we were excited to see how Fordham would, match up against such a big three-point threat that Dartmouth has. And I think in the second half, we really showed that we're able to deal with it under the right circumstances. Well, I think there were a couple spotty moments in the second half of the game. Like we just saw in the coach interview, he said during the first 10 minutes, we had a lockdown defense. We were able to get a lot of rebounds, a lot of turnovers, and I think that led us to winning this game. It was a great performance, and a great performance who I really want to single out is Khalid Moore, who had an amazing debut here at Fordham. What do you think of that, Thomas?
Total domination from the Georgia Tech grad student, 18-7, 8 of 11 shooting, had a poster, really good defensively tonight. Darius Quisenberry, I said in the first half, threw efficiency off the top of the Empire State Building, ended up going 7 of 18. So he gets some credit back, ends with 20 points. Kyle Rose had a nice day today, 11 points on 4 or 5 shooting. And we keep going down the list. Abdou Simbila down the stretch defensively made a couple really nice plays, played a much better second half. The freshman even getting involved. Romad Dean, Key Tippin had a couple of points here and there, a highlight dunk. Will Richardson getting in on the action. Also saw some decent contributions from Zach Riley. Going to take him a little bit to work back into shape, but nonetheless doing what he does best, and that's be tough and be smart with the ball. Did not commit a turnover. Fordham as well, Andrew. 10 total turnovers to Dartmouth's 12. The rebounding battle, they won that.
Mhm.
Defensively, they really won it by a margin of 7. Assists, Fordham only 9 to Dartmouth's 15. That number needs to change because offensively, if you're going to revamp that end of the floor, the assist numbers need to go up. The ball was not moving fluently tonight. It was very stagnant at times. They had some moments, but you need to see more consistency.
Oh, 100%. And I think, we look at our women's team earlier tonight. Their ball movement was amazing.
Oh, it was flawless.
Yeah, it was flawless, and it definitely showed in their game.
Also a barrage from 3 too. Let's also.
Yeah, let's say that as well. Our women's team, big shout out to them. But like I was saying, the ball movement was definitely something that needs to be desired, or that's something that leads to be desired. But I think that we had a good performance here, but I just want to see them build off of what they were starting to do in the second half in this game, because our coach said it also in the interview as well that you guys just heard, that when we came up against in this particular matchup, we came up against a team that seemed very, very hot out of the offshoot, and they seemed like they were electric at the three-point line. They were up to a certain point, but what I really loved to see out of our Fordham team was that at the second half, they took a kind of a step back, shook off the jitters a bit, and then really got to work on their defensive capabilities, which I think is where our team really shines, and then started to also put in some numbers offensively as well, which I think also led to our win. But what do you think, Thomas?
Well,
what do you think changed from the first half to the second half?
I think what changed was the urgency to win, because we saw, as Coach Dave Paulson said, they needed to get tougher, and they certainly did in the first half, or in the second half, I should say. They ended with a 5-point lead in the first half. The second half, they come out and they go on that little opening half run, which they were doing a lot last year, and they came out and did a little bit of that this year. The only thing that I am going to say, we're going to also wrap up here, is there needs to be an urgency coming out of the gate. You can't play against these teams like Arkansas, A-10 teams, Wagner, Tulane, who could be tournament teams, coming out slow. You got to come out.
You got to come out ready to play, honestly. And I know we were in the studio watching this, and we were definitely worried in those first couple minutes. I remember hearing you notably going, "Oh no,
no, not again, right?
Not
Exactly.
again."
I was ready to go out there and coach the team. I was ready to go and scream at them. I was so ready to go.
Yeah, thank God they didn't continue like that, but we just need to see a stronger start next time out, despite us winning this game and generally being a very good performance.
Well, their next game Friday night against Arkansas, projected to be one of the best teams in the country. But as Coach Dave Paulson said, give us 6 hours. They've earned it for tonight. But that is just going to about do it here for our coverage of Fordham men's basketball. Once again, the final score, Fordham 88, Dartmouth 74. The sports director of WFUV Sports is Bobby Chaffardini. The guys on the call today were Sam Davis and Ryan Gregware. Pat Ammaturo was our on-site producer. In the studio, Andrew Crinieri was on the updates. Julia Moss and Michael Calamari were our producers. From yours truly, Thomas Aiello, we say so long from our Rose Hill studios, and thank you for listening to Fordham men's basketball here on WFUV Sports. And Fordham men's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.